Okay, technical difficulties aside, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hope you're all ready for some Soul Blazer.
Good morning, everybody.
So I am DNK Cafe, and I am joined here by
Amillis,
and
or Amy for short.
and we're going to be bringing some hype racing here, guys. So good morning to everyone in chat. I see some familiar names, and I think we're just about ready to kick this thing off. So whenever we can get a hold of the racers, I think we can start counting.
Looks like we're having some issues in getting timers set up. Hold on.
Sure. So while we're getting the everything set up, we're getting the timing going, we're getting the racers all set, what you'll see on the screen here, guys, is the prize that will go to the winner of the tournament. Every year, it's really a neat prize, and this year is no different. We got the in-game map, and then the NPCs, some prominent NPCs that you will find in each of the locations. And it looks like we've got Lisa in Grass Valley. We've got old trusty Turbo from Greenwood. Seabed Sanctuary, of course, we've got the Queen. Mountain of Souls, we've got the King. In Dr. Leo's lab, we've got Marie the Doll. In the castle, we have got the King. And then, of course, we get to the mountain, and Death Toll's waiting for us up there. But we're not going to spoil too much for you guys. We're not going to spoil too much because we've got an exciting race ahead of you today. We got some great competitors in here, between ALIENsCUBE, Highspirits, LostC0re, and edgiestick. We have we're going to have quite a race, I think.
I think this will be a good race, especially with all the top end players that we have via the randomizer and the vanilla game speed runs. So it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, we got some big names going at it this year, guys. We got a lot of fun. We're gonna hopefully we're gonna avoid people having any technical difficulties on their end. We're gonna hopefully avoid anyone going through every single check and just trying to find that last item and not getting it until the very, very last possible opportunity. Hopefully, we can avoid all that, and we'll just have something exciting to bring to you guys. And it's gonna be a day. It's gonna be a day. We got 3 races coming up today, and then we'll see how they go for the finals.
Yeah, let's hope nobody loses their power today.
yeah, that was me last year for sure, and no house fires. So we're gonna hope that we don't have anyone burning down and no one losing their power. We got no storms by me, so I am in no risk of losing power, knock on wood. While we're waiting to get started, I'll give you a little brief overview of what we're going to be looking for here. So if you're familiar with Soul Blazer, great game, an early Enix Super Nintendo title, and part of the unofficial Soul Blazer trilogy, which includes Soul Blazer. It includes Illusion of Gaia, one of my personal favorites, and Terranigma. Honestly, top 3 Super Nintendo game. Top 3. What we need to do in order to get to the final area, we need to collect 6 stones, 6 rainbow stones. We have to collect the Soul Blade, we have to collect the Soul Armor, and we have to collect the Phoenix Magic. All of these things are required. Aside from those items, we have to also unlock a set number of NPCs so that we can get to each. We have to unlock the main NPC in each area, so 6 total main areas. We have to get 6 of those. and another set of NPCs that will open up the pathways to those NPCs. So it's something like 20 different NPCs that we have to unlock. So we've got a lot of different things that we're going to be getting. You know,
I think
we've
somebody
got
that does the vanilla told me that it was like 31 NPCs.
31. All right, that's even better to know the exact number. So around 30, we're talking about different NPCs that we're going to be unlocking. And then we head up into the mountain. We have to be set level 24 to be able to swing our final sword and to take down evil once and for all. Yes, Quintet hype. They truly were ahead of their time.
Okay, I think we got all the technical difficulties done over here, so we will be getting started here in just about 20 seconds.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that was one time, Queenie, one time. But, you know, we'll never forget. You guys will never forget when I lose power. We'll never forget the house fire.
And I will never forget getting left to commentate solo for the first time.
High and dry. I will not do that to you. I will not do that to you, I promise. Looks like we got about a 10-second countdown, so I hope you guys got your coffee. I hope you guys got your tea. I hope you guys got your energy drinks. Whatever you guys are drinking this morning, this afternoon, I hope you got it because we are off. And immediately, of course, Sword of Life. Got to be able to kill things. We're going to need a sword. So everyone's going to be starting out basically the same way. Let's see what the old man gives us. Herb. Let's get an herb count here, guys. We got 1 so far.
And just a little quick note, as you saw, everybody kind of put different amount of characters towards their names for this race. The ones that did the single letter are going to get just a little bit of a boost because every time we see a text box with that name, those characters have to come up. So Edgy's put himself at a slight disadvantage.
He'll lose a few frames here and there. Yeah, he'll lose a few frames here and there, but you know what? It's anything for the fans. Opening up that Ivy, so that's going to open up 3 checks right off the rip here. That's a pretty nice area to get access to early on. You know, I know when I get that later in the game and I have to backtrack out to Grass Valley, it's no fun. Big Pearl. We got the Big Pearl almost immediately. We'll see if our friendly Sleepy Dolphin friend, who usually has 4 checks that amount to absolutely nothing, it looks like we might be paying him a visit later.
And the recovery sword right off. This is gonna start kind of fast, everybody.
Yeah. Recovery sword is interesting. So recovery sword, when you kill an enemy, you're gonna gain some HP back. So we're not gonna necessarily have any worry about people taking a death here. I mean, knock on wood. As soon as I say a commentator's curse, you know, I understand that. But that will take out some enemies real quick. It's a high-powered sword. They cannot swing it. All they can do is poke. So they can hold it out and you know, whittle enemies' HP down that way. But they're going to recover their own HP with everything they kill. So it should not be too terribly scary for these runners here. Quick level up for LostC0re. Level ups are going to come early and often in this seed. We also got the goat, as you see in Edgy's run right now. LostC0re already opened up the old goat there, so that's another potential
and our
item.
old woman that'll give us access to the village chief when we find him.
So that is one of the other required NPCs. one of the 30. You see LostC0re kind of taking out layers one at a time. There's two different strategies, and one of them is really dependent on if you have magic or not. Now, no one has any magic, so we got the village chief right away. So we're able, if these runners want to immediately leave Grass Valley and go on to the next area by talking to the village chief. You have to talk to the NPC to be able to unlock the next area. The two strategies I was talking about. Now, the first one is what you see LostC0re doing, and these other runners as well, because they don't have any magic, is whittling down these layers one at a time. If these runners had some magic, you'd be able to kind of unlock the enemies in different layers, 2 at a time, 3 at a time, 4 at a time, and take out all the enemies with magic. But we're gonna be in the long game this time right now, guys, because we don't have that luxury. Opening up that bridge is nice because that ivy that we saw earlier, we now have full access to that ivy. So that's another 3 checks.
Just a little bit ago, you did see Highspirits kind of trying to work 2 different layers at the same time by moving back and forth across the screen. That sometimes does work to people's advantages. However, there are 3 different ways that these layers spawn. You have the single, slow, kill one before a new one pops. The slow, just they kind of keep coming at you, and then they like all pop up at one time and it goes crazy. So sometimes it works to your advantage, sometimes not. You'll see an ALIENsCUBE there trying to take a death warp.
And right now, taking a death warp isn't too detrimental. The gems are good just for being able to cast magic. Again, we don't have magic, so there's really no reason to hoard all of our gems unless we suddenly get something. Light arrow. Okay, so LostC0re is going to be at a bit of an advantage over the 3 runners now. LostC0re is the only one that did not take a death warp, so he's going to have plenty of gems to use his magic. That's going to be a big advantage, I think, in this early going.
Another medical herb. LostC0re just found Dream Rod and Ice
Dream
Armor.
Rod and 2 different armors, so there's really no chance, not no chance, but there's very little risk of dying early on in this seed. That armor is crazy. The recovery sword. We got plenty of medical herbs. As long as these runners are playing smart, it's gonna be. We're flying right now, you guys. We're flying. So that's 2 or 3 herbs right now. It's interesting right now. We have 2 different approaches for these runners. So we have the ice armor, and we have I believe it was the mystic armor or the magic armor that we picked up. There's 2 different approaches. One of these areas in Greenwood right now is going to have some fire pathways that you can get. You can wear the ice armor and you're protected. Otherwise, you can negate damage from all these enemies by wearing the higher level armor. So it'll be interesting to see how runners approach this, whether they want to avoid the damage outright, or if they want to avoid the fire damage outright by take more damage from the enemies, or if they want to negate enemy damage and possibly take that fire damage. We could also see some juggling. Did Aliens miss one of those armors? I didn't. It looked like he opened up all the chests, but I could be incorrect.
I don't think he got the ice armor off.
So he didn't talk to the gem. Okay, that could be. We'll see if that comes back to bite, but it's not a required item. So unless he's going hunting and he's thinking of items that he may need late in the seed, we'll see if that comes to bite. But really, having the higher level armor, that's it's just going to help you with HP preservation.
So as you saw there with that layer that most of them just did, the monster actually turned in a direction that you normally would not be able to hit it unless you could swing your sword or got lucky like they did with the sword poke straight behind them, being able to hit them.
We also unlocked... Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
One of the perks to the randomizer is that it does randomize the enemies in the zones amongst themselves, not so you get some random combinations sometimes or a whole bunch of specific monsters.
Yeah, it can be really mean in this area, especially with the teleporting statues and the plant monsters that throw out their vines at you. They're pretty mean. When you get both of those at the same time, it can be a challenge. But it also means that you get the experience from each of those enemies. So it means quick level ups if you can survive. We did just see a couple really key unlocks here. So we've got the wheel attendant in Grass Valley, so that we can explore some more of that first dungeon. We also saw that Gnome, the spirit of Gnome, was released. Now we have to unlock some NPCs to be able to fully unlock Gnome, and that is an NPC required in the Mountain of Souls. But we do at least have the spirit of Gnome released. So once we unlock the other NPCs, then we'll be able to talk to Gnome and get his item. And right now, just a whole lot of gems being recovered in some of these chests. So we're hoping to get some more exciting checks here among these runners. You see LostC0re doing the magic strat that Amy and I had alluded to before. There's a layer that is directly above where he is right now, and he kind of juggled between these two layers. He will not have to unlock that one in, I believe it's 2 or 3 screens from now. So that will be a nice little, you just run in, run out, open up the layer, and you're all set. Really nice light arrow usage from LostC0re there. We also just got the emblem E from that gem in the previous room. Now the emblems, if anyone's familiar with the Link to the Past randomizer, the emblems serve as sort of the pedestal check, as it were. There's, I believe, 8 emblems that if you collect them...
8 emblems.
If you collect all of them, then there is another NPC that unlocks a gem, and you can trade in those emblems for 1 item. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes you're just getting a whole bunch of gems. So we'll see if that becomes, or a whole bunch of herbs. We'll see if that becomes a required check for these runners later.
Okay, so we see the mermaids tier there. There are several items throughout the game that, with the randomizer, have become not as useful as they are in the vanilla game. That mermaids tier specifically is used in a world in Act 3 to kind of make lava non-hurtful to you. But
yeah,
most of the runners of this have learned how to do it without needing that particular item, so it's kind of fun to see.
It's definitely something that's skippable for you know, even mid-level players. I'd say mid to high-level players, it's definitely something that's skippable. We now have 2 emblems. All right, guys, get your emblem counts up, because we are a quarter of the way to a pedestal check. That is some exciting stuff.
The pet and the two NPCs you need for it are sometimes hard to find, so we'll see.
Yeah. It becomes a needle in a haystack situation, where you have all 8 emblems, but you need, one of the 2 NPCs. So which layer are they going to have to find to get those emblems turned in? They get the fire emblem. They'll get the fire emblem after they turn in all 8 of the emblems. Yeah, and then if they die the rest of the game, then it's game over. Permadeath. We got the fire emblem fans out here today. No, it is not permadeath. That'd be a nightmare. That'd be an interesting optional setting for these randomizers, I think. 3rd emblem just opened up.
We've got people that are trying to rework the code of this a little bit to give us some different difficulties.
Yeah. Always looking for some interesting ideas and for some new runners. So if this is something that is of interest to you, then definitely check out the...
Oh, did we just get Lisa?
We did just get Lisa. Lisa just got opened up, and we have the Dream Rod. So that area of Grass Valley, at least that first dungeon, is full clearable. Now there is another dungeon that we have to be able to get in, and there's a few items that we have to get to unlock that. But Lisa she's such a sweetheart. She's such a sweetheart. So we've unlocked her, and we'll see if we have to pay her a visit a little bit later.
Another little interesting fact that I've come across running this enough, these flower monsters with the little butterflies that come out of them, it actually gives you different XP amounts if you take out both parts of it, or if you just take out the single part.
That's accurate, yes. So as they throw out their butterfly, the butterfly is what counts as the enemy itself, and the flowers are just kind of there to spit out the butterflies. So if you kill all the butterflies, then the layer opens, even if you have some of the flowers still available. But that's something that I like to do in my attempts, is to try to, as much as possible, especially early game, get both of those parts to the enemy taken care of, so you get a little boost to XP. LostC0re going back to Grass Valley to turn the wheel. He's going to activate the elevator down in the first dungeon. He's going to wake up Lisa. We've got that first dungeon is going to be cleared out right now by Mr. LostC0re.
Okay, and we got Highspirits going on and doing the fire shrine instead of going back. So some divergence here.
Two very different routes. Now, the reason that LostC0re is probably not doing this is because there's a sword you need. We got the green stone from Highspirits, one of the 6 required stones for endgame. There is a sword required to full clear this fire temple, and none of the runners have it yet. So that's probably why LostC0re went back to see if logic is suggesting that the sword is in that area. So we'll see which of these strategies pays off for these runners. But first stone unlocked for all but LostC0re right now. So that is something to keep note of.
There is one of our key NPCs for Act 4 to get to Gnome, like we said. Our grandpa at the lake. What an interesting little group, those gnomes.
So while everyone else has their green stone, LostC0re will have the path to Gnome and being able to unlock the progression of at least opening up the next world. They're not done yet? No, Queen Anne, they are not done yet. They are not quite done yet, but welcome back with your coffee. I hope it is treating you well.
Nope, we found Francis. Queenie, you got back in time to see him come home.
And we have a nice medical herb waiting for LostC0re in the Mountain of Souls. So they still only have the one herb in their inventory. So that is something that is important in this game. There's 20 some odd herbs that are available to collect. But if you collect an herb and you are already carrying one, it will automatically override the herb that you have in your inventory. So you cannot carry more than one. Use your herbs wisely. In the randomizer, it's difficult to be able to juggle that, but in vanilla game, you kind of know where things are. Wish the coffee was from me though. Yes, yeah. I brewed my coffee this morning. It was a delicious Guatemalan, and I actually am. Oh no, I got a little bit left. Now, we saw LostC0re open up another layer that had an important NPC in Mountain of Souls that unlocks the way to speak with the Gnome King. That is very important, because you need to have the Gnome King and 2 grandmas, our dancing grandmas, to be able to unlock the path to Death Toll, the final boss of the game. That is a hard requirement. There are also a couple other NPCs that open up the pathway to the King. That will be important.
Well, we also need the king to be able to even get to Gnome, and that is something a lot of people forget, is that the king is a required NPC to make it to Gnome.
Someone's got to unlock that prison cell. Someone's got to do it. So you see Highspirits right now walking through those red hot platforms, and that's because he has the ice armor equipped. That allows them to walk onto those platforms without taking any damage. And that was kind of what I was alluding to before with the two different armors. We see ALIENsCUBE just tanking the damage there. So two different strategies. None is right or wrong unless someone takes a death, and then we'll see which one is right and which one is wrong.
Very, very true. And the other thing is that as long as you have the herb as your equipped item, it tends to refill your HP when you pick a new one up. But ALIENsCUBE did not have his on at that point in time, so we see that he still has all that damage he took.
Yeah, so that could be important. We will. We'll see if that comes back to bite, but hopefully not. Hopefully not.
The platinum card, which is a mixed kind of item nowadays because it all depends on how you get the NPCs unlocked. Because you know, if you don't manage to get to that last cutscene, you need it to get into that left tower.
And that tower, and correct me if I am wrong here, I believe that tower does not carry any items, but will carry just layers that unlock NPCs that could possibly carry items or progression. So it's it's one of those things that you hate to see early on in the game because you wonder what could possibly be hiding there.
So, to correct your statement, the left tower, that final jewel, gem, crystal, however you refer to it, has the possibility of carrying an item.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. I feel like every time I unlock that jewel, she tells me she's carrying nothing and offers to transport me right back to where I came from. So, knowing that she can have something, that's a lot of work for one single item. LostC0re, with all of the unlocks that they had in that area, just got the door key, which will be very, very important for Leo's lab later in the game. Queen Anne is correcting us, saying that gem has nothing. So that was what my original thought was. I thought that gem, by default, carried nothing. And it looks like Queen Anne is confirming that for us.
I thought the only two in the game that didn't have anything were the one at the end of the underground castle on the east side and the one in hold on, now I'm trying to remember my maps. In Bluster.
And Bluster.
Not Bluster. Yeah, the one at the very end of Bluster.
Correct. Yeah, that one also carries nothing. 0 items to be found in the left tower, confirms Queen Anne. My suspicion, initially at least, was correct. So it could have items hidden by NPCs. That's the important thing, but you never know until you really get into that last part of the game. Edgy opened up a tulip. The tulip will have an item underneath it by pushing, running into the tulip and pushing it over. You'll be able to unlock one item check underneath that tulip. So one thing that LostC0re did not get yet, because they are just now going into the Fire Temple to unlock all these other things. But everyone else is kind of backtracking as LostC0re did to open up their progression further in the game.
And Highspirits shows that it is a very important check for us with Leo's brush.
Yeah.
So now all of these ones that are back in Act 1 are going to have the ability to finish clearing it.
Yeah, LostC0re is going to have to come back to clear out Act 1, because as far as I remember, there is nothing that they unlocked to be able to progress fully without having to go back into Grass Valley and use that brush. So that's true, Chitin. There is that other gem that gives the hint about the sword, so that is accurate. Oh, the Sleeping Tulip, yeah, that one as well. So what? That's 5, I guess. 5 gems that will carry absolutely nothing. So do not talk to those gems, guys. No Greenleaf or Wood Guardian in the Fire Shrine. That's correct. So that's likely going to be unlocked in the painting, where ALIENsCUBE is right now. Having the brush equipped, going up into the Architect's house, you unlock the ability to get dragged into Dr. Leo's painting. And we should see some pretty significant progression in that painting. Yes, required Lisa does always cause chaos. And we love chaos here.
Well, we'll see if the painting does become a full clearable, as there are some monsters in here that do require a special sword to be able to take out. So we shall see what happens in the painting.
Very much like the Fire Temple. I had mentioned that about the Fire Temple before, but it's metal enemies that require the Zantetsu sword, which will take out metal enemies. They are not high enough level to swing it, but they can, just like the recovery sword they have, they can poke at things and whittle them down the slow hardware. So as Amy was saying, we will see if this becomes full clearable. It is, at the very least, it appears to be a required area. So whether or not they have to come back remains to be seen.
Yep, there we found our Woods Guardian to get through Act 2 and on to Act 3.
So there is the required NPC that we were looking for. And Karek, you do raise a good point. It is sometimes useful to talk to the gem that gives the hint about the Soul Blade. I know that I've had several seeds myself where I'm searching and just trying to find that one last check. Where is this sword? It is required to finish the game, and I don't have it. So definitely something that can be very, very useful. So I appreciate you correcting me on that. And the Zantetsu sword, it has been found. What is this seed right now? We'll see aliens go through and full clear this area, which is very exciting. These metal enemies give a lot of experience, so they do pack a bit of a punch, but with the high-level armor that they have already, that will not be a problem. The Zantetsu sword will take care of them. They're going to get 250 XP a pop, and we should see a couple of levels and a full clear of Grass Valley. What a find. What a find.
And so, as you notice, ALIENsCUBE is avoiding walking over that layer pop until just then, because if you pop that layer, you reset monsters that are attached to another layer that you have not completed. So it can play a huge part in your game if you mess that up. Yeah.
There are some ways. I'm actually going to switch over to Alien's audio here, because I'm liking what I'm seeing out of this progression. There are times it does cost some valuable seconds where I will reseal a layer, so to speak, to be able to gain that experience. But it is few and far between. And as Amy was saying, if you seal a layer and you don't wait for another one to open, it can be a rude little surprise when you come back and see, oh, I need to kill all these enemies again. There go 2 minutes of my time. Finding that sword, though, the Zantetsu sword, not only and the queen. So this painting is packed with absolutely required NPCs and items. What a seed we have here, guys. Boys and girls, we are flying. Yeah, give the runner a follow. Go get ALIENsCUBE a follow here. Go give LostC0re a follow. Go give Edgy a follow, and go give Highspirits a follow. We got some exciting racing going on. With the Zantetsu sword, the fire temple does also become full clearable. So that's another, I think, 3 different checks in the fire temple.
Yes, 3 more checks there that the runners can get. Plus the fact that we found the queen means that we are not in this desperate search for our bubble armor to have to do more of Act 3 in our first pass.
Yeah, we can skip a lot of Act 3, or we can do at least South Erta and get a few items there, because we do not need the bubble armor to get through that. But man, oh man, no, the way that this seed is going right now, I can only assume that the boss is also going to have some kind of required item here or required NPC. This is insane.
And a quick takedown of the boss.
Yeah, it's the boss there, even in vanilla, if you know what you're doing, is real quick. Not a required NPC. So unfortunate for us, but definitely not, wasting any time full clearing that dungeon. It is worth checking out to make sure that it's not anything that should be skipped.
An ALIENsCUBE leaving that lair unpopped?
Yeah, that's interesting. They realize, though, they're going back. Okay, I was going to say, that seems a little sketchy. But,
oh, and our Plaza Mermaid having our pass.
Okay, not a required NPC, so they could have left that layer unpopped, but boy, that would have scared me. That would have scared me. I would not have done that by choice.
Well, and if I remember correctly, this is actually kind of a rematch of our final from last year between LostC0re and ALIENsCUBE.
That is correct.
Maybe Queen Anne can confirm, but so this should be very interesting to finish watching this play out for those of you in chat.
So ALIENsCUBE went and talked to the Wood Guardian, and the Wood Guardian just had a medical herb for us. He's looking out for our health. I'm with you, Koek. Make sure that I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Please correct me if I'm not. That anytime I leave something, it is without a doubt 100% a required check, and it's very frustrating. It was QB and LostC0re, says Queen Anne. Yes. So Cube is going to be checking out some items here. We have the mushroom shoes. Oh dear.
Oh Lord, mushroom shoes and good magic.
Yeah.
Before Act 4. What?
That's insane. That's insane. So that's having good magic in Act 4 is really nice. You'll see some real mean enemies in Act 4, but having the mushroom shoes, oh my goodness. We're going to be unlocking some deep diving into the Mountain of Souls here. Maybe.
I mean, some of these runners would prefer to leave that for a last check.
Yeah, I know I prefer to leave it as a last check, but that was a thing that burned me a couple years back in this very tournament, was a required check, as was just mentioned before, that I somehow missed, and boy, that came back to bite me. It cost me a good 25 minutes and definitely cost me, if not the race, at least a decent opportunity to show well.
Okay, so ALIENsCUBE just unlocked us our right tower that needs the VIP card in Act 6. So we'll see when we find that item.
Yeah. Yeah, Mountain of Souls is kind as long as you have Light Arrow or Fireball, as Cook is saying in chat right now. Light Arrow or Fireball, I am fine with either one. Light Arrow is a little bit easier to handle. You don't have to position yourself and orient yourself to throw the magic a particular way. If we see Fireball, I'll be able to kind of expound into what I mean by that. But Light Arrow does shoot 4 directions at once, whereas Fireball will only shoot in one direction. Everyone else is just finishing up the painting at this time, while Aliens is... Boy, Aliens, I feel like, is really flying through this. Some really good decisions nearly at the end of South Erta, and we'll see where they decide to go after this, whether they will do a bit of a sequence break and seal off that last layer. Because there's nothing else that's unlocked, as far as I remember. There's no mermaid statues that have been unlocked yet, but we'll probably see them go right into Act 4, and we'll see the Mountain of Souls. Act 3 music is very, very good music, but I definitely have a favorite, and that is... it's Leo's lab. It's Leo's basement. Yeah, everyone's got to love Leo's basement. That bass line, oof, popping.
See, I'm more of a seabed kind of mellow, nice, easy music.
I can see that.
But it's good. But it's good. I don't remember. Did ALIENsCUBE do the other part of
That's
the
an
underground
excellent
castle?
question. Yeah, that's an excellent question. I don't recall. That could be why they seem so far ahead. But we're getting confirmation, or not confirmation in chat. Sorry, that was something else. But we are getting questions in chat about whether or not Aliens did the watermill. I don't recall. Terrible commentation by me. I don't recall if they did the mill. We'll see if they go back for that. One mermaid statue was unlocked. We are getting confirmation of that news right now. By the way, speaking of mermaid statues, I do have to point out, I love the layout. And Amy, I believe that was partly your doing.
It was my idea. I got asked what I would think of for a layout for this year's thing, and with this being our 4th annual percent tournament, the first thing that came to my mind was the 4 statues that is Act 3. So
yeah, it's really, really nice callback to the game itself. It's very nice. Aliens opting not to open up the Durian statue that was unlocked, and instead going right into the Mountain of Souls. So that we'll see what they can unlock here, and immediately equipping the mushroom shoes. So they're going for a full clear of this area, and why not? That's what I say.
Well, hopefully he'll remember to unlock that statue once we get Rockbird and have access to Durin. Our mole ribbon and little... Oh, look at that. Highspirits found soul armor.
That's really nice to find that there. So that's something that Aliens is going to have to go back for. They did not go full clear the Fire Temple. That probably would have been my move, to be honest. I'm not sure if that's... right now it looks like the right thing, because we found the soul armor, and that is a required item. I don't know if that would have bogged me down in a series of progression checks. See, because right now Aliens unlocks the king, so that unlocks the potential to get the grandmas and access to Gnome. So it's kind of a tough little decision here, where you backtrack and you start, opening up all these other layers, or you keep going forward and you possibly unlock NPCs. So I can see both arguments in this. It'll be interesting to see how the progression goes for both Highspirits and Aliens.
And so I know we're talking a little bit about the logic of this game. Realistically, the logic stays to the vanilla game in that, we have the Zentetsu sword, so it's expecting us to go all the way to Act 5 as quickly as we can for the progression to move forward. And that's how the logic is based. However, we have found in the randomizer that sometimes it's not where you think it should be, and you have to stay in these lower areas to keep moving forward.
That's always been a struggle of mine. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. That's always been a struggle of mine, where, I juggle the idea of, do I progress forward because that's what logic is telling me to do, or should I be unlocking some of these item checks and these other layers in earlier levels because I have the ability to do so. It really becomes a question of knowing your strengths as a randomizer runner and how the game is kind of laid out. One of them seems smart, and it is opposite of what I would normally do, is what I think Telio1 here is alluding to. Good morning, Telio.
I think that's where my problem is. I get so worried about leaving that item in the past that, like, as soon as I go into a world, I gotta clear as much as I can, and then when I get access to stuff back, I go back.
Yeah. I usually will get bogged down in the idea of opening up item checks, and it's why I'm not running in this in this tournament this year. It happens. Nothing exciting that I see coming out of Aliens as yet in these layers, these checks here. Boy, these moose monsters though, those drive me absolutely crazy. Much easier to deal with magic, as you see them doing, but they're invulnerable when their head is spinning around their body, so it makes it very difficult if you approach them. They throw their head in a circle, and then they're invulnerable. So it becomes a juggling act of, do I take all this lag and try to, force magic, or do I get close to them and try to poke them to death? I don't like those enemies. Just my opinion.
So LostC0re just found the flame ball, like you were alluding to before coming up the mountain. So we'll see which one he uses for which monsters.
The light arrow is definitely the stronger of the two magics. Another mermaid statue unlocked by ALIENsCUBE there. But the flame ball will cost less in terms of gems, which is like the MP of this game. So it's harder to wield, but it will let your resources last a little bit longer. Yeah.
And so that statue that we unlocked was the Rockbird statue that I had alluded to a little bit ago. So that opens up part of Act 3, and there is our bubble armor.
Beautiful. So Act 3 is going to be, we're going to be looking at a whole lot of areas in Act 3. Axeman, I agree with you. Light Arrow is a better magic because of its versatility, its usage, and its ease of use. The only argument I have against it is how many gems it uses, but I agree with you. If I'm in this situation, I'm using the Light Arrow. It is the magic to use. It's stronger. It will take enemies out faster.
So Vapid does speedrun this game. I know there are plenty of people in the chat that do the speedruns, and hopefully they will kind of hit you up with that information as to what all you need. I know basically for the randomizer, you just need the ROM and to go to our website and our Discord. And we are just about to that point where we're gonna see if Lionel is required, everybody.
Yeah, we got aliens walking around in the mushroom shoes, and he's going to be checking. A silver stone is definitely a required item, so a good find by QB there. And we'll see how much is going on in the rest of the area. That mermaid that was unlocked is not necessarily just an attendant to the queen, but it's nice to give the queen her attendants back. Queen has some delicious seeds we just saw from Edgy. Delicious seeds will open up one item check in Greenwood if you unlock the proper squirrel. The squirrel will spoil what he's holding, so we'll know whether or not we have to go give those seeds to the squirrel. It could be useless and it could be required. We don't know yet.
And so another little thing. sometimes when you're like speed running this game, I know unlocking NPCs does help refill your health as you take damage. So sometimes you may want to pop layers that you don't necessarily need to do. Especially if you're getting low on health, it might save you.
Yeah, if you're hurting, it's good to pop the layers for sure. I see Solar Cell in here. Good morning, Solar. He will be racing a little bit later. I believe at 5 p.m. Eastern. We have 3 races going on today, ladies and gentlemen. This one right now, I believe one at is it 1 p.m. Eastern, and then one at 5? I think those are the times that we have laid out.
Correct.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Solar and I have a nice little rivalry. Unfortunately, we couldn't let that rivalry continue in this tournament, but I'll be back for him later, and we'll I'll make sure to give him the old what for. We see LostC0re unlock a sleepy stump, which I believe QB did unlock as well. And that sleepy stump will give us access to yet another item check in Greenwood. We see aliens unlocking the dolphin that will free Lou in the Seabed Sanctuary, and Lou will have an item check for us if we happen to find him. Yeah, the lag in Mountain of Souls is legendary. There's so many, as Amy was had mentioned earlier. There's a few different ways that layers can pop, and one of them is every enemy just pops at the exact same time. They're all coming at you, and they're gonna give you they're gonna give you some heck. So I'm not sure exactly what I can and can't say on commentary. Highspirits unlocks the 4 chests. There's a leaf that will get rid of some cats in Leo's lab, and other than that, the bubble armor is great. You're going to need that for Act 3, but those are the 2 big items of note there. But the lag in Mountain of Souls just really seems to amplify. It always feels to me like the layers are going to unlock every enemy all the time, no matter what. So that will slow the game down to a crawl. Space Invader, right now we have Aliens audio going. It's difficult to say who is in first, second, third. Right now I have Aliens audio going. It seems like the progression that they have made dictates, at least an advantage of some sort. But it's very difficult to tell. It's so early in this seed. They have 2 stones to everyone else's 1, but right now that is the only advantage that I can speak to.
Yeah, it gets so hard to follow everybody unlocking different things, especially when they had so much divergence that they had like at the beginning of this seed. So it gets very hard to tell who's in the lead, who's not in the lead. We try our best as commentators, but like I said, it just, even if you do have any kind of foreknowledge on it, it's confusing trying to remember who's done what and everything. So
now, one thing that so LostC0re and Highspirits both unlocked the silver stone on the gem right before the little ice path here. So now we have 3 of our runners at 2 stones. One of them, Edgy, only has 1 stone. Again, it's gonna be tough to see exactly where the advantage lies. But a good point from Axeman is that Highspirits did do the fire shrine. They have the soul armor from there, and that is a big advantage because everyone else is going to have to go back and find that soul armor. That is a required item. That is one of our several required items to finish the game. So that is a very good point brought up by Axeman. You see, if you look at QB right now, you see examples of 2 different things. Edgy also has the soul armor, so Edgy does not have to backtrack. Thank you for the correction. You see examples of 2 different things right now. First of all, the lag, and second of all, the worst enemy in that particular area, the teleporting wizards. The magic is great for the wizards because you can just let them spawn on their lair and take them out with a quick blast of magic. If you allow them to disappear and respawn, they are an absolute nightmare. Chitin, that's a good point as well. There is a required item to progress further in Grass Valley. That is the Greenwood Leaf, and that gives you access to the Light Temple. Light Temple has some enemies that have a required sword, so we may not see these other runners go back until they have at least one of those two items.
And that would be to progress in Greenwood, not Grass Valley, to Ink.
Oh, my bad. I misspoke.
And I see the creator of our prize in the chat right now would like to throw out a special thank you to him for all the work he does in creating our prizes. And our squirrel has a medical herb, so he's kind of useless this time with those seeds.
Seeds unnecessary right now. Seeds unnecessary.
But as I was saying, Link has been so kind to give us a discount in his Etsy shop for this weekend for the tournament. Link is in the chat, and so go and check out some of the other stuff he's done. It's all of his work is great.
Definitely some good work. Very creative. Very well put together, very beautiful work. So, again, shout outs to Link for all that they do for the community.
Yes, of course. Shout out to our runners, us doing the commentary, and SpeedGaming for hosting us this weekend.
Yes, thank you,
Do not forget SpeedGaming.
Looks like we got my old link in the commentary thing, which is fine. I can't recall the last time that I clicked the go live button, but we'll see soon. TM. Aliens unlocked a Sleepy Soldier, which has a potential item check after a semi-lengthy cutscene. That item does get spoiled for us, so we will know whether or not that's required. LostC0re getting the goat's food. The goat's food will unlock a spoiler check. So
that spoiler check could be not what you're looking for.
Right. I believe it's one of the 3 required items of Soul Armor, Soul Blade, or Phoenix, and that's completely randomized. Is that correct?
Soul Blade, Soul Armor, Phoenix, and yes, it is random as to which one he gives us information to.
Yeah, so it could be useful and it could be absolute garbage.
And I know we were talking about crystals later in the game. The one in Magritt's castle basement gives a hint to, I believe it's the Lucky Blade, the Zentetsu, or the Spirit Sword, which you normally have by the time you get to it.
Yeah, you should. Usually by logic you'll have most, if not, at least one, if not all of those swords. So it always feels like more of a tongue-in-cheek check. Aliens is going to go check the pass, but equipped the wrong item. Equipped the platinum card instead of the pass. So they need to, yep, there we go. Fixed it. Now they're going to go up and do a couple of item checks here in Grass Valley. The actual Grass Valley, not another misspeak by me. Psycho Sword and Medical Herb. Psycho Sword, I mean, it's not necessary, and the Medical Herb is a Medical Herb, so not much going on in the way of those 2 checks.
Psycho Sword would have been nice in the beginning if we hadn't found anything more progressive than the Sword of Life, but that's about the extent of it.
Yeah. Aliens going back down into the underground caverns in Grass Valley to full clear all of that, and everyone else is just making some progress through Lanehall. Sleeping Soldier is definitely a legend. Shout outs to the Sleeping Soldier. Edgy going through those 4 item checks. The Leaf, Strange Bottle, Thunder Ring, and the bubble armor. So it's looking like to make our necessary progression, we're going to have to go back into the Seabed Sanctuary and unlock some of those mermaid statues and check some things out there. So we'll see who does that first. Looks like LostC0re. LostC0re is going right into the Seabed Sanctuary, and he's going to check out Rockbird, check out Durian.
So
Might have
that
to do
little
another audio
cutscene
swap.
right there that LostC0re just did is one of the very few cutscenes in the randomizer that can kill you.
Yes. You will take damage if there's an enemy that that is on top of the position that the game believes you're in. Queen Anne, you have a question for me. Go ahead with your question. A strange bottle in the seabed from the dolphin, so not a required item there for LostC0re. Where can you purchase a dream stick? You can purchase a dream stick. I bet you that Link might have one on his Etsy site where you can right now get a discount, and they are the ones that put together this beautiful grand prize for the winner of this randomizer tournament. Hopefully that answers your question, Queenie.
So, as you just saw, LostC0re kind of opening up some shortcut pathways that some consider useless. But knowing that we've got to make a couple of trips here to the seabed, that could prove to be beneficial.
So this is where LostC0re is going right now, and I actually may switch over to LostC0re's audio because I love this music here. It's an area that I really enjoy for the music and for just the layout of Rockbird. It is fun to me, and it'll be interesting to see how LostC0re will tackle these different layers. I always like to go to the top and kind of go clockwise around. So we'll see if LostC0re shares my strategy. Who has the best chances of winning the race right now? Right now, honestly, it's still really tough to tell. I see all of our runners being really, really close. LostC0re and QB, I think are at a good position. Spirits, though, is not far behind. If you were to, it's hard to say anyone's ahead or behind. I'd say between those three right now, we've got a pretty good, idea of how the seed is progressing and leadership, so to speak. But all these runners are really close, so it's tough to say right now. LostC0re looks like
give a little bit of an edge to Highspirits since he already has the soul armor.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
That would be the only little edge I would say that he's got right now. But yeah, all three of them are really, really close. And so it's going to be a very interesting race to the end.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I am gonna switch over right now. We're gonna do LostC0re's audio because we got a new area that I would love to hear the music to.
Queen Anne, with LostC0re manually tracking, I think the only thing he does not have marked at this time that everybody else does is the king.
Yeah, it appears that way. Definitely appears that way. What a legend! Manually tracking. LostC0re.
That's a world record holder for you. So.
Definitely someone that knows how this game works, the ins and outs of this game very, very well. Unlocked the mouse that will give you access to the mouse hole if you take the cats out of Leo's lab with basically the catnip leaf. So that is a couple of item checks right there potentially, and we'll see what those things have in store for us. chest
Queenie,
of drawers.
we know that LostC0re has unlocked the soul, but he probably hasn't done gnome because he hasn't moved forward from Act 4 forward. So I don't know if he's got all the pathing to get down to gnome. And with not having the king, he still wouldn't. So that might be how he's tracking it, where the auto tracking will just say, "Oh, it's open."
Yeah, it could be whether or not he has access. That's a good idea. That's a very smart observation. Okay, we got the ghost ship mermaid statue unlocked on LostC0re's side. We got QB opening up all of the mermaid statues to start doing the same progression that we see in LostC0re's run. So, again, I think those two right now are pretty neck and neck, and Highspirits with the soul armor has definitely got an advantage as far as that goes. But it is truly anyone's race at this point.
I see in LostC0re decide to take that walk back versus teleporting back and going back to get to Durian the other way.
I think that's a smart move, because he knew that he had that layer that was unopened, so he didn't unlock the shortcut. And I'd have to do a step count. I haven't done an actual step count of what would be faster, teleporting and then walking, or just doing the short walk back yourself, because it's a pretty straightforward walk. But knowing that he didn't have that shortcut unlocked, had to go back, because it was definitely longer to go around and unlock the shortcut versus taking the path out of Rockbird. Skyward, you're right. All the music in this game is absolutely top-notch. Top-notch. LostC0re with our first
red hot item.
Red hot item. So that was another 3 items that I neglected to mention early on when I was talking about what was required. We also need red hot stick, red hot ball, red hot mirror. So a grand total of, I think that brings the count up to 12 absolutely necessary required items to finish this game, plus your NPCs. LostC0re with the first of those red hot items. So that's definitely an advantage. Does not have the soul armor, but does have that first red hot item. These metal apes in they always give me trouble. If you're trying to do it fast and you're trying to get them in position, it's such a headache to get them just right, so your sword will nick them with just the end of it.
I don't think I ever knew that you could reach them from down there, so way to go, LostC0re, for showing some new little tips and tricks.
Some new tech, yeah. If you guys or anyone, I've seen a few people in chat mention that they would like to learn how to do this randomizer. Tip number 1, check out the links. We got the links that are in the chat right now. Definitely, get yourself into the Discord, get yourself familiar with that. Step 2, watch some of these runners. Watch LostC0re, watch QB. Go into their streams and ask questions. That is the best way to do this, is to observe and learn that way. You get to see some really intelligent routing, some very, very smart decision making, and that's the way you learn. You have to get in and you have to dive in, and it's like riding a bike. You gotta take your bumps. You gotta fall off a couple times, but the more you try, the better you get.
Okay, so QB there finding the black stone and the green wood leaves, so we'll see where all that leads.
So that's one of the items that I had mentioned earlier that could be keeping QB from going back to the Fire Shrine. LostC0re, of course, full cleared Rockbird, also has that Greenwood Leaf, which does open up the Spirit Temple. Now, they don't have the Spirit Sword or the Soul Blade, so they cannot take out some of the enemies there. That leaves two unopened, or one unopened layer and one unopened item. So we'll see if it's enough to pull them back, or if they're going to make progress forward if the path is open. Now, LostC0re did find the Phoenix. That's a major find, and again, one of the required 12 items.
Duran almost always having something hidden. And
always something. Always something. It's insane. So not only did it have Phoenix, but it had the what did it have? The red hot stick right before the gem, right before we went into it. So two very, very big required checks in the Durian area. Edgy getting the mole's ribbon from our guessing game back in Greenwood. And we had LostC0re unlock a mermaid that will give us an item check. So another thing to check back in the Seabed Sanctuary.
And Edgy doing our little dreamy turbo spray. Have to send out big shout outs to La Hulk for reducing that cutscene tremendously.
Yes, thank you very much for that. That is a very long cutscene.
If you would like to see it in its entirety, check out a speed run.
Yeah, it's something. It's something like 8 text boxes, I think it is. You do have to turn in the red hot items skyward to be able to use the Phoenix. So it is a hard requirement. And really, the Phoenix is great magic to have, but is mostly useful at the end of the game. Light Arrow is going to be something that will carry these runners through for most of the run.
And so other things that are hard required in order to use the Phoenix magic is you have to have the Soul Blade, the Soul Armor, and be level 24.
Well, 2 different checks that just popped up. Edgy just got the Lucky Blade, which opens up part of the Mountain of Souls, but at almost the exact same time, LostC0re checked that mermaid that he unlocked and got the Red Hot Mirror. So 2 really exciting checks, 1 a hard requirement. So GG to LostC0re on finding that Red Hot Mirror. Chitin with the correction on me. Thank you very much, Chitin, for keeping me honest. And the blue stone LostC0re found on his way to the ghost ship in that first chest. Now, we did get the pearl, the big pearl earlier in this seed. We do not have the required dolphin to open that up. We don't have Chungus here, but possibly a 4-item check that these runners are going to want to see. So we'll see if that becomes a requirement later on. But right now, we still need to find that sleeping dolphin to be able to unlock Hype Cave there. Yeah, CORE is finding a lot of really, really fine items. So aside from not having the soul armor, I do think that I have to put the advantage squarely on LostC0re right now, between finding that extra stone, finding the red hot mirror, just a lot of really, really nice finds here, and the Doll Marie in Leo's lab. So another required NPC. CORE is flying right now. CORE is absolutely going ham. Spirits is going to be finding all those required items in Durian right now. So Spirits does still have the advantage of finding the soul armor, but LostC0re is flying through the seabed. Axeman, you're right. ocean looks like it's going to be a full clear, and LostC0re is going to have a huge advantage getting that all done before the rest of the runners.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how everybody does it. I mean, a lot of people may hold off on finding that dolphin before doing the ghost ship check.
Yeah.
I know that tends to be a big debate within the community as to when you do it. So
LostC0re making easy work of the ghost ship and releasing the crocodile that leads the way to the potential pedestal check. Still one more NPC that would need to be unlocked to check the emblem crystal, but we're a long way from that. We only have 3 of the 8 emblems for that, so who knows if we'll need to even see that. Aliens unlocking the chest of drawers in Leo's lab. That is 2 item checks there, one inside and one underneath that chest of drawers. Yeah, LostC0re is exceptional at reading logic. Exceptional. And the path to Gnome is opened up, so we'll be able to see what item Gnome has for us here. An herb, excellent. Very, very good. Gnome is just feeding the meme. All right, making quick work of that and leaving, so looks like we're going to be seeing... what, the lab, I guess? Yeah, looks like we're going to be seeing the lab. Cora's going to go right into the lab. Magic flare? Not really. I mean, it's nice at certain points in Mountain of Souls, but Light Arrow is just gonna be the magic to use. Best music in the game right now, everybody. Best music and some of the worst enemies, unfortunately. We just saw one run right past LostC0re, the mechanical mice.
right now we'd have to give the edge to LostC0re. He's just the furthest along within the game itself right now, but it's still anybody's guess because you could get lucky and find one NPC or one of these key items that's needed, and it totally changed the course of this randomizer. There he is, finding the stairs to get closer to Marie.
Yeah. I don't recall if he unlocked the other set of stairs, but I do believe that the door into that back room is unlocked. Marie is unlocked. He hasn't marked off Marie, so just judging by the way that CORE typically likes to mark things, I'm guessing that those set of stairs are not yet unlocked. But yeah, right now, so the advantage for CORE is the extra stone. The clearing of Ghost Ship, which had some requirements, and already making progress into Leo's lab. That's definitely a huge advantage for CORE. For Spirits and Edgy right now, their advantage is having the soul armor. And Aliens really is on CORE's heels. We'll be doing all the checks and the location clearing that we just saw CORE doing. So as Amy was saying, anyone's game. Right now we have audio on CORE because that's where I believe I'm agreeing with Amy that we've got a bit of an advantage.
So right there you see Highspirits doing that death warp on that lava. As I mentioned earlier, when we got the Mermaid's Tear, we could have actually not had that damage being taken there, but most of the experienced runners are used to using that as a quick way to get out of here, so we don't use that Mermaid's Tear anymore to its advantage.
QB going for that last layer ended up with 1 HP, almost something that could have come back to haunt. Now, it wasn't a required NPC, but had they taken a death, or I don't recall if they had the herb equipped. It didn't look like it, no. But had they taken a death, there's a chance they go back and open up that last layer, and oh man, that would have been a nightmare situation.
Okay, there's Aliens getting his second red hot item, so we're getting closer, everybody.
Yep. Core, we just saw take out some of these mechanical mice in a very smart way, allowed a lot of them to spawn and then come back. But just the absolute worst enemy in this game. I will never forgive Enix and Quintet for designing an enemy that works the way the mechanical mice do.
Well, you know, it would help if every monster didn't have iframes that are undeterminable lengths.
It's true.
To be honest.
Very, very true. So we do see that LostC0re, in fact, does not have the second set of stairs released yet. So that is something that he will be looking for to gain access to Marie, and then ipso facto access to Madrid Castle after that. And then, yes, as mentioned, right now, Highspirits and LostC0re are both level 17. Level 24 is a hard requirement to finish this game. You have to be able to swing the Soul Blade. So 7 more levels from each of them. Honestly, once you get access to the final areas of the game, XP just comes in droves. So there's no way that these runners will have trouble getting to level 24. It's just gaining access to those last few areas.
So kind of seeing everybody making their way towards the Leo's lab and finishing up their checks that are open to them.
There's just it's such a good track. It's popping. I can't help it. I love it. I love it. These 2 layers right here that Core is doing can be a headache, especially, again, I don't mean to harp on the idea of these mechanical mice, but if one of those 2 layers happens to have mice that spawn, those 2 could take forever to seal properly or to seal efficiently. So some luck for these runners. Neither of those layers have any enemies that are too terribly difficult.
The other thing to note is that ice armor that we got early in the game will help reduce damage taken as the runners go across those hot plates here in Leo's lab and in the power plant.
We will likely see at least one of the runners doing it. Right now, we just saw Core equip their medical herb, so it looks like they're just tanking the damage as much as possible. Which, again, we're going to find more herbs. I think we've only found 6 or 7 of them so far. We're going to find more herbs, so that's not a bad strategy. They will refill their HP right here and make way for another herb in their inventory. QB making their way to the Mountain of Souls to do a few checks here, probably to go talk to Gnome and open up their pathway to Leo's lab. They are going to get the medical herb from the boy. They were out of medical herbs, so that is a smart move. It's good to have one in your inventory. And Edgy is going to be finishing up Durian very, very quickly.
Highspirits dealing with all those metal mice.
It's the worst. I can't say enough terrible things about the metal mice. Yeah, Cook, the basement can be tricky. There's a lot of nuance to doing the basement efficiently. I can definitely agree with that point. LostC0re unlocking a plant that will give us an item check, but we need the cats that are in that room just prior to be able to gain access to that check. We have one of the 2 cats, if memory serves.
2 cats and a mouse.
2 cats and the mouse. The mouse has been unlocked, so the only thing that he is still missing is that second cat.
That mouse, unfortunately, last year hurt one of our runners.
It sure did.
Really, really badly.
CORE is making his way through the second area of Leo's basement, which will gain access to the boss and a few layers to open up some NPCs. Not an overly difficult area, I would say, especially at this point in the randomizer, but damage can be a problem, especially on the hot plates, and if you don't have a high enough level armor when you're going in to fight the boss. It can be a bit of a scary situation, but CORE's a professional. They'll get through this, no problem.
There you see LostC0re using Magic Flare a little bit.
Spirits unlocking the final of the mermaid statues.
Another one of those areas that's mostly NPC unlock, so we'll see when people go back to that.
This layer that CORE's at right now, it got my vote for the most annoying layer of the game, simply because, and there's a layer just like it in Greenwood, where you have to go into an area to unlock, to open up a layer that opens up an item check, but you have to make some sort of weird, circular progress. It's not linear. It's just annoying. But that's something you have to live with. Super bracelet found on CORE's plant, is upstairs plant, so that'll be nice to gain a little extra damage and a little extra protection to keep their HP preserved.
It will definitely help in making our final boss fight go a lot smoother.
LostC0re did skip the boss, which we'll see if that comes back to haunt. Not only did they skip the boss, they skipped opening up the layer that would give access to that boss. So even if they have to go back, they've got to go the long way. A few in chat are noticing that, and that could be a very risky play.
It is a very risky play to at least not go and grab the teleport in to be close to that boss. I mean, if I was going to nope out, I would at least nope out after that point.
I agree. I would do the same thing, but we'll see. We'll see what CORE's mindset is. You know, we mentioned before, they're definitely a seasoned runner. Maybe they have a gut feeling.
Okay, so LostC0re in the model towns. Model towns are a whole new kind of challenge because you get a lot of monsters on the screen, which actually can make it where you are unable to cast magic.
Yes.
And we have to deal with invisible monsters, so you just kind of have to learn where those are at if you want to take that on before you get the special soul for Act 5. I don't think that door has been unlocked, so nobody would technically have logical access at this point.
I don't recall seeing that door unlocked quite yet, but CORE is making his way through. And when you know this game as deeply as these runners do, then you'll know exactly where all these invisible monsters are. It's a little difficult in the randomizer because some of them will move around a bit. I would say that this is definitely an easier area to do without the aid of the soul in the vanilla version versus the randomizer, as a lot of these areas are. But you know, these runners know where everything is. And there's our sleepy dolphin. There's our sleepy dolphin on LostC0re's stream. So we'll see if they go back and check out Hype Cave there. I don't know. We got the pearl pretty early. When you get an early pearl, I tend to go back and think, well, maybe they got something.
We also unlocked the NPC we all affectionately refer to as Bob the Builder, which is required to get out of Act 6 and get to King Magrid.
Yes. Yeah, you got to have the castle constructed to be able to talk with the king. These enemies in the model towns, too, they really pack a punch. You'll see on CORE's stream, HP is melting anytime that he gets hit. They hit pretty hard. And you'll see on Highspirits, too. Spirits is trying to cast magic, but there are so many enemies on screen, they're not able to. I haven't run across that in Mountain of Souls, the other place that I mentioned has really terrible lag, but it is... I run across it every single seed in the model towns without fail.
So back on the Mountain of Souls, if you get too many of those moose, I have come across it not letting me cast magic.
It's so frustrating because you think, well, I can take care of these guys really easily, but no, you can't. LostC0re finding the iron armor, which is a great armor when you're level 2, but not so much when you're level 18. And Edgy, yes, opening up Laynol Part 2, so we are... We're getting into some deep dives in Mountain of Souls. We'll see if there's anything required on there. I'm gonna keep a close eye on Edgy for the time being. To see if there's anything required up in that area of the Mountain of Souls. Lake Loon, yes, thank you, Chitin. I could not remember the name of it. Tornado magic? No, thank you.
Questionably the hardest magic to work with in the game.
Yeah. Not my favorite, well, to put it kindly. And a medical herb. So far, not great, but we'll see what else is hidden under Lake Loon here. The one thing that I don't recall seeing, there is a hidden check tied to an NPC, but I don't believe the Sleepy Mushroom has been unlocked by any of our runners yet. So there could potentially be one more item that Edgy cannot get quite yet and would have to come back for. Don't know if they had to come back for it, but it is a potential. Spirits unlocking...
An item and a lair.
Mm-hmm. Yes, an item and a lair, correct.
And LostC0re just found our spirit sword, so we may be seeing him do that backtrack to finish up Greenwood.
Let's finish up Greenwood, get into the Fire Shrine and the Light Shrine. That would be a huge advantage, in my opinion. If he goes back and clears that out, then it appears to me that it would be CORE's race to lose, just because they would have the soul armor and would have, you know, depending on what else they find in that area. Yep, there they go. There goes CORE. They're going to find their soul armor and whatever else might be hiding in these last two shrines. That's true, Pale. We do need to find those grannies. Edgy unlocked the mole that needs to be escorted back to their hidey hole. So we'll see what item that mole has. Oh, Cook, I don't know if anyone's saying left tower right now. I never say left tower. Oh, nightmares.
LostC0re sitting there combining a couple checks together that take time.
Mm-hmm. Not a bad move.
And I find this to be the funniest thing in the whole game, is that we have this one crocodile that's just like, really? You're gonna walk on me?
There's something to be said about these three games, Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, and Terranigma, whereas Illusion feels like the most serious of the games. All three of them truly have their own little brand of tongue-in-cheek humor, and it's refreshing to see that they can tackle some very difficult and sometimes very sad subject matter with a grain of humor. So I love to see it.
But other little interesting fact, that crocodile, if you stand on his back for a few seconds, he'll actually give you another text box, just like kind of telling you to get off of his back.
Actually did not know that. I'm going to have to go through and check that out for myself. I never stand on his back long enough to be able to test that theory. So some fun little insider knowledge there. Again, another little tongue-in-cheek addition to the game. Definitely bittersweet, Cook. Not to talk about a game that's not Soul Blazer too much, but Terranigma, first play of that definitely had me in tears. Beautiful game, and highly recommended. We found the Soul Blade. Where did we find that Soul Blade? I missed where that was found.
That was on the Turbo Grave check.
Oh, got it. Okay, the Turbo Grave. So we have the Soul Blade and now the Soul Armor for LostC0re. So certainly right now, Core is, I would say it's Core's race to lose. I've been watching Edgy to see if anything is getting unlocked of importance in Lake Loon. And missed that Turbo Grave check on Core's side. But Core is just a few items away from being able to basically get into endgame here.
And ALIENsCUBE doing our $10 check, so we'll see.
Who took a death, unfortunately. Oh, but unlocked the lair, so we'll see what the $10 has. No, we won't, because Aliens is noping out of that fight.
Kind of hard to, blame him for noping out on it at this point.
Instead, gonna go up into the attic and check the plant, which will give the super bracelet, probably do the cat, and probably the model town. Core making quick work of all these metal enemies now that they're level 19. Can swing the sword, do not have to poke things to death. Spirits right now, here's some hype for you guys. Spirits is going to be checking out Hype Cave. So we're going to get to see what is there and if there's a requirement. I'm excited. There's never a required item in the seeds when I check it, but we're going to get to see if we got something that these runners need to come back for.
This could definitely shift, who's in the lead if it is something though.
And the second cat, yes, unlocked second cat in Lake Loon, so that is that could potentially be an important find. That's 2 items right there. So really, like, even with the advantage, I'd say on Core's side, there's so many different ways that the routing of this particular seed can go. It's hard to really fault any of the runners for the way that they're progressing. I don't know what I would have done in these situations.
Personally, I don't, with the way I play this, it would be very hard for me to be necessarily even to model towns at this point.
Core checking the gem right before the light shrine, just a medical herb on that, and we're going to see Core go through and group all these enemies up. watching a runner that does this well is really, really satisfying. Grouping all these enemies up and releasing, 3-4 shrines at one time is really something. Spirits, here we go. Let's see what Spirits unlocks here. We got 1 layer to seal for 4 chests.
Here we go, everybody.
Let's see. 1.
We have
herb. Okay. Herb.
2 herbs.
No. There we go.
The brown stone and nothing.
So 1 required item and 2 herbs. It's. I mean, it's hype because you have a required item, but man, it really feels like a disappointment for sure. But we got the brown stone, so that is a required check. Finally, we're going to see a hype cave that is required.
So with that, it's a quick shift in who's in the lead in this, with Highspirits now being 5 stones in.
Having that 5th stone is
missing that soul blade at this point.
Got to go back to Greenwood, but that's going to be a huge check there. It's the most hype you'll ever get. Yeah, getting 1 required item in Hype Cave is probably the most that you can ask for. Cora is unlocking 1 of the checks from the spirits and just 300 gems. So 1 more check from the ghosts inside the Spirit Temple. We'll see if those are required enemies. Otherwise, we'll see if he goes through to the boss. We've already seen him skip the Tyndall. We'll see.
These runners making all of this look super, super easy. But
yeah,
I guess that's what we get with the
do for you.
Best 12 that put in for it. So we had 18 people attempt to get into it this year. And these 3 races today will show us the top 12. LostC0re being the number 1 coming into this.
Yeah, a very impressive runner. Tyndall, Axeman, I don't recall any runners actually finishing Tyndall. We had LostC0re nope out of it, and then Edgy, I believe it was, actually took a death and did not go back in to finish. So we have not seen what's on Tyndall yet.
QB got to the boss.
Was it QB? Okay, my fault.
Yeah, and took the death.
But we will see what's on the 3 statues. So LostC0re is taking those guys out right now.
Super quick there.
Yeah, real nice fight. Textbook at this point. Just a soldier, a humble soldier, nothing required. So now CORE has a bit of a decision to make. Spirits looks like they're headed into Blester and unlock the 2nd model town, so possibly a requirement there as well. Feels like every area has something that is required. I don't recall anything being a complete disappointment quite yet.
No, I don't think we have run across anything that's been completely a bust. So.
Yeah, that makes for very, very interesting scenes when you have to at least step foot.
Highspirits found one of our grandmas.
Beautiful, nice. All right, so yeah, the path to Blester, unlocking it. One of the grandmas, definitely a required area. Yeah, nothing has been a full disappointment. You have to at least dip your toe into every single place so far. It looks like.
I would say Lanol might have been our emptiest check
I
we've had so
that.
far, but I think it did have a couple NPCs that we needed for pathing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Edgy opening up the left tower, which we would have access to once we get into Magrid Castle. They do have the platinum card.
Here's LostC0re going back and doing the loon checks.
QB grabbing an herb, and I believe it was a sword. All right, we're gonna see QB go after the tin doll again. So let's. That was the critical sword. Thank you, Pyre, for specifying it was a critical sword. All right, we got QB gonna finally take out tin doll. We'll see what's behind the tin doll. All right, come on, QB. There we go. Good. We're not gonna take another death here.
And Spirits helps a lot.
Yeah. Spirits right now is clearing out Bluster, and QB unlocked the deer that is required for the quote unquote pedestal check, the emblems check. So very interesting. Very interesting.
And chat reminding us that it was the critical sword under that chest of drawers.
Yes, thank you.
Which, yes, very much a early level sword, but not really a good thing at this point.
QB going back to Greenwood, going to do a few checks and probably clear out the last two shrines. And Spirit, yes, Spirit just opened up the second set of stairs. So Bluster is, man, Seabed has been red hot. To borrow the terminology from this game, it was there's been a lot on
pedestal deer.
Chitin. Yeah, pedestal deer on the tin doll. There's been a lot in the seabed.
Well, and here we go. Alien gonna give us the what is on our pedestal. Anybody want to take guesses? Cool.
Strange bottle. So the pedestal is not required. We don't need to check that gem, but he is going to sneak up on the bird, and the bird is giving us something we already have. And Billy also gives us something that, Billy gives us the mole's ribbon. So we'll see what's behind the mole's ribbon. I believe Core checked that, and I don't recall what was on it. Yeah, that's a whole lot of nothing, Skyward. Spark bomb. So another magic getting from Mole's ribbon. Spirit's full cleared Bluster and is getting out of there. Spirit's definitely making solid progress, but needs to get back to Greenwood to check Turbo's grave and get that soul blade.
And that's going to be the hardest thing for him to go back and find at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Just because there's nothing really left for him to do in Greenwood.
Right. So it would just be that check. Getting up, talk to Marie, get the Mystic armor. So Spirits does have that armor now, and is going into Model Town number 2. We'll get to see. This is the first time we see Model Town number 2. So let's see what that has in store for us. Core going in to take out the merman. Spirits does have Light Shrine to do, and they don't know that there's nothing really in it, so they do have the Light Shrine to do. It really depends on how their progression unlocks. How soon they go back to Greenwood and finish out the Light Shrine.
Boss having a potentially needed NPC with unlocking blue there.
Mm-hmm. Spirits releasing the mole's home for the mole that is out in the sunshine that's way too bright. So another NPC check that is tied to this model town, the second model town. Yeah, well, this is a very exciting race. All these runners, every decision is like, I feel like any decision that they're making is correct. Edgy checking out the plant that is unlocked behind the cats and the mouse hole. The plant just had a medical herb, so not much in that mouse hole right now. We're going to get a couple of item checks on Spirit's side right now, and Edgy's making his way to the attic of Leo's house. Harpstring on Spirit's side, and Emblem C. We already know that the emblems are basically useless, but the Harpstring could have an item attached to it. We'll see in Madrid Castle whether or not that Harpstring is necessary. Core just unlocked the second cat in Leo's lab, and Edgy is doing the sleeping cat cutscene. Spirit's trying to find that last invisible enemy. Having a bit of trouble. There we go. Found it. Edgy making his way to Model Town 1, so we'll get a clear of that one right now on their side. And Spirits is just finishing up the second Model Town right about now. Few more layer checks, and they'll be done with that. Core unlocking Blester, so they'll be very happy with that decision.
Also see if he makes that decision to go back over to Ghost Ship.
Mm-hmm. He's unlocking it. And Lou has nothing, just a medical herb. No, Core did not.
He's not.
Oh, Core. Oh, goodness. All right.
Our
But
red hot
Core
mermaid
does
with
find the
our last red hot
ball, yeah.
item.
So, is this even randomized, bro?
That's French vanilla, I believe.
So
it is still randomized.
It is semi-randomized. Core does hate Chungus, but that's going to be a decision that is going to be very interesting later on. But the red hot ball on the red hot mermaid. All of the red hot items were found in Seabed. 2 of them on mermaids. That's insane.
Very adequate to start this year's tournament off.
Yeah. It definitely is in keeping with the layout. Core releasing Grandma number 1. Yeah, that decision to not unlock Chungus might come back to bite Core. We're not sure yet. I'm actually going to swap over to Spirits audio here. Spirits is in Madrid Castle and doing some checks. And you know what? I like their position here. 5 stones, soul armor, no soul blade, so that's a bit of a problem. But they're checking the Sleepy Soldier. Queen Anne's favorite NPC, the Sleepy Soldier.
I believe Queen Anne's favorite NPC is the singer who sings Lisa's song.
Oh, you know what? That is a good point. Sleepy Soldier just with a medical herb, so not a whole lot to give us right now. Spirits making their way to the basement of the castle, so we get quite a few checks down here. And we have the required swords, so we're able to take out all these enemies. These ghost enemies, they give the mechanical mice a run for their money in terms of how annoying they can be. But yeah,
but there's a cheat to these ghosts if you know what you're doing. There is a bit of a cheat.
Yes, there is. I was going to get into it. I'm glad you did. If you stand in a certain position, you can kind of bait the ghosts out and just hold out your sword if you're not high enough level, or swing it, and they will not touch you. They'll just kind of walk around you in a big old circle.
We will see if any of our runners show that off, because there is one particular layer in here that is absolutely what you will want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Chitin, for kind of helping show most of us in the community that little trick.
It's a very helpful trick. A lot of enemies can be baited out like that. Like right now, you're seeing SpeedGaming stand right behind the monkeys as they're spawning in their lair. The monkeys won't move. They won't attack. They're no threat to you whatsoever. So there's quite a few enemies that you can kind of break their AI, so to speak, and take them out pretty easily. So far, not a whole lot in the basement. Spirits finding some gems, but nothing in terms of required items. They are trying to do that strat that we were talking about, but not quite standing in the right position. You want to stand to the upper right, and Chitin, correct me if I'm incorrect, but the upper right of that layer, and the ghost will just walk right around you and just ask you to take him out.
It's really easier when the ghosts are spawning like kind of all at the same time versus that single spawn that we had on that layer. Everybody starts to get a little impatient and edgy.
Yes. Yeah, it's easy to get antsy. You can stand at any corner, says Chitin, so that's good to know. I always just default to the top right corner. Spirits does find King Magrid, so Magrid basement is hard required. Wow, another area that you at least have to dip your toe into to get a required NPC or item. I think Spirits is in a great position. Gotta find that soul blade, but what are they missing right now? Soul blade, one of the grandmas.
Soul blade, a grandma, and a stone at this point.
One stone and the red hot
potentially, well, yeah, red hot ball, and potentially the VIP card.
Correct. Potentially the VIP card. I think they need one more NPC to open up the path to the grandmas. I think they need the grandpa, the hallway grandpa there. But other than that, yeah, just the blade, one grandma, one ball, and a partridge in a pear tree. Right, the red hot mermaid for Spirit. They need the red hot ball, which is on that mermaid.
And this is getting to be exciting, everybody.
Yeah, this is we got 4 really, really close runners right now. SpeedGaming making his way back upstairs to the attic. I believe they unlocked Model Town number 2. We'll probably go into that. Gonna check Marie first. Okay, we're gonna check Marie. And they'll get the Mystic Armor.
Yes, everybody in chat, please make sure that you put up your hype for whichever runner you are most comfortable with, because this is a great showing on all of them.
Yeah, Spirits is flying right now. Released a soldier out the front of the castle, not required, but making their way through the rest of the basement. A couple of invisible chests here. The first one with a power bracelet. Second one, medical herb. So another herb in chat for anyone keeping score. The basement, very much like the model town, has some things that are invisible. And in the basement, it's these treasure chests. There is an NPC that allows you to see hidden paths and hidden chests, but much like the model towns, when you are well versed in the game and you know kind of what's going on and where things are, then you don't really need that NPC. It's just time loss. Aliens did find the red hot ball, so Aliens is making some really good progress. Is going to go get their 5th stone. Turning back. Where's Aliens going? I don't know. Oh, did Aliens not unlock Chungus? No, Aliens did not unlock Chungus, so they're going to Whew, good move by Aliens there. Almost had to do a double backtrack, but good thing they realized that they did not unlock this cave yet. So that'll put Aliens and Spirits pretty well neck and neck. Spirits with a couple higher levels than Aliens, and that is a bit of an advantage. Neither runner has the Soul Blade yet.
And I know LostC0re and some of the others that have done Light Shrine kind of gave us that clue, but we will see that Highspirits finds Dr. Leo, or I might have missed it. I'm doing double duties here, guys. I'm sorry.
You're good.
But we will find Dr. Leo, which will potentially help us get another cutscene and item check.
Potentially an NPC check if they have to clear the boss. Aliens getting 2 herbs, a stone, and nothing out of these chests that we did see unlocked earlier, so they'll be happy to have that stone. Delana is on top of the herb counts today. Always having an herb in chat when we need it. Thank you very much for that.
Those orbs that Highspirits is fighting have to be, in my personal opinion, among the worst ones. And there is our purple stone.
They're pretty bad.
Giving us access to the world of evil.
Oh, there it was on Spirit's side. Wow. Spirits with all 6 stones, only needing a red hot ball, a granny, and the soul blade. So we know where 2 of those things are right now.
And a path. We're still missing the grandpa log. So,
yep.
So we are so close.
Wow.
To Highspirits being done.
Doing real good.
However, the only thing we do know is that there are no NPCs in the world of evil. All of those layers are just pathings. So where has he left them? Where haven't we gone?
Let's see what King Magrid has for us. The mobile key. Okay. Wells, all right. Call him HS. I will call them HS from now on. Thank you very much for the correction. Are we headed up north? We're going somewhere. I think we're headed up north. There we go. All right. We're opening up the world of evil. HS with the first access to the world of evil. Now, there are a few chests up here. We know that they're not going to carry the items that HS needs. So, as you mentioned, there's no NPC unlocks. Right now, they're just going to be unlocking the pathing to get to the end of the game. So, it does save some time in the at the end when they're ready to get to the final fight. But they're going to be disappointed by the item checks.
There's 6 item checks here, so we're still missing a VIP card.
We are missing a VIP card. Oh. That could be something. So, I do stand corrected. There's the VIP card. All right. So, are we going to see required towers? I have a feeling we might see required towers. So,
how quickly everybody finds everything now.
It's unbelievable. I think that we are at the point where HS just needs to backtrack to get the blade and the ball, and I believe it's just 2 NPCs that they need to be able to finish this game. So it right now becomes a game of where are those NPCs and how quickly do they go back to retrieve the ball and the soul blade.
The race is truly on.
Yeah,
now
right now.
To find the end.
Depending on how HS approaches this, you know, a while ago I said this was Core's race to lose. This right now feels like it is HS's race to lose. How quickly the randomizer can change. So Core is missing
He is missing the brown stone, which was in the underwater hype cave.
Yeah.
And the purple stone that he's going to be finding here before too long if he stays in the basement.
Yes. Yeah, it's in one of the invisible hidden chests. So Core will be at 5 stones very shortly. Yes, it changes at random. Very good, Magak. Magak will be here all week, everybody. Tip your waitress.
Please remember to give these runners a follow if you are enjoying what they're seeing.
Absolutely.
Us commentators, if you are enjoying what we're presenting to you. And of course, follow SpeedGaming to watch all the different stuff that they host, because it is a very wide array.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we would also like to throw a shout out to the monitor who did our prize for this year. We'll see if we can get that up here momentarily for everybody to see, because it is a very beautiful prize. Also, his shop on Etsy is doing a discount for Soul Blazer with the promotion code. We will try to get those links up there.
Let's see, I'm heading back into chat to see if I can find all of that right now. All right, we can do the shout-outs for the runners. Let's do that right now. Do the shout-outs for... All right, so shameless plug. Here's our commentary links. My link is incorrect, but that's fine, you guys. We'll deal with that. I am not the important one here. The important ones are these 4 runners. The Soul Blazer community at large, and if Queenie is in chat... Queenie, if you could please share the link to that Etsy page for our lovely for the store from where our lovely prize is coming from, that would be grand.
I think I'm gonna have to grab that link.
HS needs a grandma, and I believe one other NPC aside from that. I believe that's true. I believe they need Grandpa Logs.
Yes.
Other than that, yeah, HS just needs to find Pearl and Ball. Pearl, Ball, and 2 NPCs.
And there is our prize link. Let me see if I can get that
Oh, beautiful.
image put up here real quick.
HS headed into the Spirit Shrine. Gonna get it clear of that one right now. Core did find the purple stone, so now Core is only missing the stone that is on Chungus. If Core goes back and does that, then I mean Core is not quite in go mode, but they're very, very close. They still need to find a grandma, and they still need to get the path to the king.
And he'd still need to pick up his VIP card in the World of Evil, so...
That's true, because we might need that. But yeah, right now, only HS with access to the World of Evil. And there is the prize going out to the winner of the tournament.
So a nice little shadow box this year with some of our key NPCs for the game on a great world map.
Yeah, that's beautiful work.
Thank you, Link. very much for your work for the communities and the games that you've done prizes for.
Yeah, definitely beautiful work. Love to see all the support that the Soul Blazer community is getting. This is the 4th randomizer tournament, and definitely a lot of fun. Going through this event with these runners, with the commentators that I have had the privilege of chatting with and working with, and for those that have furnished us with these wonderful prizes. It's been a really nice 4 years, and here's to more.
Yes, every year that we do this, we do get a whole new group of runners. Please, if you're enjoying the game, want to learn the game, join the Discord. There are plenty of helpful members in there that will help you learn it. We have to thank Skarsnikus for the tracker that we're using. Yes. He has done that. Yes, there are some other ones out there, but we use this one for ease of getting it on the screen and just giving you, the viewers, learning a good idea of just the simple what you need. If you need more to it, like I said, there are other trackers out there, and the community will help get you through those, learning those.
We are seeing core go through the left tower right now. It kind of snuck in there while we were doing all of our shout outs here. So we get to see firsthand what is in this tower. This is my least favorite tower. Between the lag, the enemies, this tower is a nightmare.
No, that soldier just said that his buddy's in the left tower, which is where LostC0re's at.
That's true. So we might need that. Core releasing a grandpa, not the required grandpa to gain access to dancing grannies, but a grandpa nonetheless.
Oh, it's looking like LostC0re starting to maybe panic a little bit about what he's forgotten.
They do know that there is, there are several NPC checks that are in this tower, so there's a chance that they unlock one of the 2 required NPCs that they still need. Leo cutscene itself can't have the item, but fighting the boss could have a required NPC, X-Man. That's the only thing that would bring us to that cutscene. Twitch says you need a time machine to follow me. Yeah, you can find my actual channel under the name that is posted up on the under commentators right now. I did many months ago. I changed my name, and it was not updated on the link, which is that's just one of those things. That's fine though. But right now, all the hype on the runners. True, in Rando you can do Demon Bird without the cutscene, so don't necessarily need the soldier. Thank you, Delana, for updating that link. I appreciate that.
Here's Edgy going to do that underwater hype cave.
Yep, Edgy's going to have their 5th stone. So Edgy, actually, right now, I've said this about every single runner so far, that they have a bit of an advantage, but Edgy still, just like all the other runners, needs 1 grandma and grandpa logs. Otherwise, they have 5 stones. True, yes, he does need King Magrid, you're right. Which I believe just gets unlocked as long as they go to the basement of Magrid Castle. So that will be unlocked in fairly natural progression, but they'll be searching for the same 2 NPCs that our other 3 runners are searching for.
Highspirits so close to that soul blade.
And it's so close. They've just got to get in there. Looks like they're gonna go for it right now. They're gonna walk over the gator. They're gonna do the dream sequence, and then hopefully they just check it immediately so that they can have their mind at ease a bit. Peace,
Okay,
guys.
so
See you later, Turbo.
that door that you just saw ALIENsCUBE open up is the door that would have allowed us to see the invisible monsters in Model Town.
HS does find the Soul Blade. I am sure they're thrilled to have that item on them right now. Couple more checks in Greenwood before HS gets out of there.
Our bird that his stuff got actually changed to just say, "I believe I can fly."
Shout-outs again. While we're giving out shout-outs to LeHulk for putting together the randomizer and reducing many of these dialogue boxes. A real legend. And you'll be seeing LeHulk run a little bit later on today. Looks like Spirits is going to go back to Grass Valley and check out the boys' secret hideout. Just equip the pass. So they're in full item find mode right now.
There's Alien
QB,
finding his last stone.
QB finds the last stone. Still needs to go back to Turbo's grave. So it's sitting here and watching is one of those things that's so difficult because you know where everything is, and it's just like, oh, you just gotta go back. Just go back real quick. It'll take 2 seconds. But yeah, QB does not know that. HS still missing the ball, and QB still missing the Soul Blade. All of our runners missing the Grandma and Grandpa logs. And Edgy is missing King Magrid, but will unlock King Magrid very, very shortly. One more floor down, and Edgy will get King Magrid. Hulk's kind of good at the game sometimes, from what I've heard. Wells, I couldn't have put it better myself. Looks like HS is headed to left tower. So they'll unlock a soldier, but we just got to get those last 2 NPCs. You know what? It's looking like the VIP card might be a necessity, and the only one that has that is HS. HS showing all of us right now why that tower is just the absolute worst. Good old yeah, well, you're right on top of it. Lag tower. Horrible tower. Core also going back to check on the boys' hideout, finds a Psycho Sword and an herb. So LostC0re is also in a bit of item hunt mode. Still, it needs to go find Chungus. We know that Core does not like going to Hype Cave because it burns us so many times. Gotta swallow his pride and head into Hype Cave.
Yeah, everybody just kind of in that, searching for those last couple of things.
The last couple things. It's amazing how this game can feel sometimes. The randomizer specifically. I know that I've had several seeds where give me an hour and a half and I've got everything that could be required except for 1, maybe 2 things, and those 2 things can take you another hour of searching and unlocking layers. And as nice as this randomizer can be, it can be very, very mean.
Affectionately, like I said, we all kind of treat it as it's gonna be a hundo until it proves us otherwise.
Yeah, Hype Cave in Soul Blazer Randomizer is just there feels like no reason to go there because it burns you so many times. But there's always that one time. There's always that one time where you skipped something and you think I should have gone back. And right now, I think we're seeing Core do that. Core is going to be right on the doorstep And just like our other runners, we'll only need those 2 NPCs to be able to finish the game. So I think Core is pulling advantage back. Although, based on what I'm seeing right now, it looks like the VIP card is going to be required, and the right tower is going to be required, and only HS has access to that.
But it's him going back to that right tower because he just opened up Loon as well. So there's still so many places he can go right now. So I think LostC0re might have that little bit of advantage once he gets that VIP card, realizing that that's the only place he's going to have to go to check. So we'll see what happens here shortly, everyone.
Yes, World of Evil was where the VIP card is. So Core will get into there. They will find the VIP card. And my guess, I agree with you right now, Amy, is that after Core sees the VIP card in the World of Evil, we'll likely go there fairly quickly, especially after HS has unlocked a couple of other lovely little distractions. 2 more herbs on Core's side. Thank you, Delana, for those 2 herbs. Oh, here we go. HS headed to the right tower. Oh, baby.
See what happens.
Here we go. All right. This is, I predict we're going to see our last 2 NPCs, and we're going to see them fairly quickly. HS is in a great position right now. All right, so an NPC that does not matter right now for HS. Yeah, let's see if we find what we need. This is exciting. Oh, baby. We got LostC0re opening up World of Evil. But you know what? It was that decision to not open up Hype Cave for LostC0re right now, as of this very moment, that's proving to be a bit of a difference maker. You know, that Chungus hate it might come back to bite.
Well, I think it'll still be a very close run because Highspirits still has to go back and get his red hot ball and
That's true.
undo that cutscene.
Yeah. Oh man. So we're gonna
for those of us that have watched LostC0re in the past, we know he is very, very well versed with the final fight in like frame cancellation and lag, so he can come back in that last fight super easy.
Yeah, never a runner to count out. LostC0re is well seasoned. So there's the grandpa. HS is missing one other NPC. So there was still an NPC besides Grandpa Lugs that they needed. They need one more NPC and Grandma still to unlock the pathway to the king and to the dancing grandmas. And they're in item check mode, so they're going to be opening up every chest that they come across.
Oh, that's going to be a very, very bad blow. I just remembered that boy that we need is in the power plant of Dr. Leo's lab.
Oh, no. All right. So that's a big blow to HS right now, because there's no reason for them to go back. I mean, they do have to... They don't have to fight the boss, but right now there's so many other things for them to do. They're searching for that red hot ball. You know, they could go back to see if they find an NPC, but if we find those last NPCs in this tower, oh man, this is gonna be a little bit of a tough predicament for HS here. Yeah, there's Grandma. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, the rando bites the runners again.
Yeah. We'll see what decisions they make, but they've got to go to the power plant. I don't think that I would think that off the top of my head. Like, that wouldn't be the first place that I'd think to go back to.
And did Highspirits do Light Shrine, or has he not done that yet either?
I don't believe so, but we just saw Core unlock Grandpa, the Wood Grandpa, so we'll see Core get Dancing Grandma here. I think Core's got it. I think Core's got it right now.
Yeah, I think those
We're
two
gonna
NPCs...
we're gonna swap over to yeah. Core's in the proper tower. They've got all the other items that they need. We're gonna switch over to Core's audio here. Not that it's much different from HS's audio, but we're gonna follow the leader. Wow, what? Just simple decisions here and there, and it didn't. Skipping out on Chungus did not come back to bite Core as much as we thought because of Spirits not getting the boy in the Mountain of Souls. That's going to be a huge setback for HS, unfortunately. Yep, Core finds the grandma. It's there it is. There it is. Core will open up the portal, and they're just noping out of here. They're going to take a death warp right here, I think. Yep. There we go. Good call. Good call. LostC0re in go mode, guys. We're going to see the end of the game right about now. Going to go back to the grandmas, unlock that, and this is basically it. Can we get some dancing grandma hype in chat right now, guys? Core is on his way. Core is on his way.
Let us see what the king gives us as an item.
Yeah, what goods are we getting from the king right now? Shield bracelet. All right. I mean, you don't need it, but it's nice to have earlier in the game. All right, Core. This is going to be over in about 5 minutes, if that. Spirits taking out that demon bird. Hate that boss. Absolutely hate that boss. Sin and Delana with the Dancing Grandma's height, and Netta. Netta, welcome in, Netta. Good to see you.
Yes, welcome in, Netta. Thank you very much for everything you have done for the Soul Blazer Rando community.
Speaking of the shoutouts, yeah, Netta, huge part of the last few years being organized. Well, Core's going to make his way back. I'm just happy that we didn't experience a fire. We didn't have a house burn down. We didn't lose any power. None of it. we got through this.
No technical difficulties for our streamers.
Yeah, for our streamers, for our. Well, I'm not gonna comment on myself quite yet because we've still got about 4 minutes. Core gets the last level required, 420,000 experience points. Nice. And is on their way to fight Death Toll. Knock on wood. Yes, we're going to knock on wood right about now. Spirits is in item check mode going... Where's Spirits going? Oh, he's going to open up the sleepy mushroom. I see what's going on, yeah.
Before he goes and does all of Loon.
Yeah, before he does everything else. Tournament's not done yet. It's true. It's true, son. I've cursed the rest of it. Commentator's curse has happened on the rest of the tournament, I guess. My apologies, everybody. Yeah, LostC0re is 2 minutes away from finishing this seed. LostC0re, barring an absolute nightmare situation, will win this seed. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, everybody, and here's that little cancellation that LostC0re does very, very well. It waits until those gems fire one time, and then it just all kind of lines up so you don't get as much lag in this final battle.
It's very smart. It's very, very smart, because those little lasers, they do an immense amount of lag when everything else is on the screen as well. So very, very intelligent move by CORE, and a seasoned runner's move.
And so this will take 12, 13 rounds of firing off Phoenix.
Yeah, this should be about a 225 or less for CORE here. Edgy going into Model Town number 2, while Spirits is headed into Lake Loon.
Everybody get your GGs ready in chat, because this will be over momentarily.
Yeah, this will be under a 224, I believe, now that I look at the time and how far he is in the fight already. One or two more rounds and he'll be done. There it is.
And there it is,
CORE
everybody.
with the finish.
GG's
well done,
to LostC0re.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Very good. Well executed. Nice move headed back to Chungus when you did. Really, really nice race. Very tight right up until the end there. Really, really nice. Really nice. Big GG's to CORE. And that's man, that's when you get the world record holder in the vanilla speedrun, running in the randomizer. It's that intimate knowledge that really gets you over the edge there. But all four of these runners today have been doing a bang up job for sure. We'll see who, we've still got. We have 3 races, and then the final is, I still believe, 4 runners. So second place could be a very, very big finish for one of these runners today.
Very much so. Yeah. Queen Anne would have to give us that confirmation on how many runners are going to be in the finals tomorrow. But again, shout outs to all of our runners. They put on a great show today. Waiting to see if LostC0re wants to do some interview afterwards.
I'm going to swap over to QB's audio, because right now QB just unlocked the Grandma and has all required items. So QB looks like they'll be taking second in this run. Really nice execution by QB. The race started, really close between CORE and QB. HS started coming in hot. Missing out on that red hot ball is what's costing HS right now. QB gets too excited, misses the hallway to get to the teleport, but we'll definitely get get in there right now. C doesn't deserve credits. CORE, I know how much you love checking out Chungus and Hype Cave, so I can feel it from here.
GG LostC0re.
GG LostC0re. Boom, 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 boom. QB getting his hands on that shield bracelet and opening up the pathway to Death Toll. So QB is going to be in there real quick, taking out Mr. Death Toll, Deity Death Toll. And HS and Edgy right now just looking. Edgy looking for NPCs and HS looking for that red hot ball, but not going to find what they're looking for. Well, Edgy will find an NPC that they need down here, but not the Grandma and not Grandpa Wood. QB, barring a setback, should get about a sub 230, so still a really solid time for the Soul Blazer randomizer. Really, really nice. Then it all went downhill, as this game does, Cook, as this game does. Between this randomizer, Link to the Past, and Final Fantasy VI, those are the only three that I have fairly decent knowledge in. It always feels like this randomizer trolls harder than either of those other two, and when it trolls, it feels really bad.
Okay, so LostC0re has said that he wants to come in for an interview. We're just trying to figure out why it didn't give him the link to get here.
Well, we'll get that situated. We'll get LostC0re in here and give a proper congratulations for sure.
And everybody get ready to do your GGs for ALIENsCUBE.
Yeah, Cook, I don't want to talk about the qualification seed. Your qualification seed burned me hard. Yeah, I foolishly forgot a required layer.
There we are. GG ALIENsCUBE.
Yeah, GG ALIENsCUBE. Really nicely done. Sub 230. Really, really good. Good time for a Soul Blazer seed. Really nicely done. And while those two runners have finished, we'll stick to Edgy's audio so you can hear Leo's lab for just a second. And it's done. Welcome in, LostC0re. GG. Really nicely done.
Thank you.
Yeah. We were noticing right around the time that all the other runners were going into Chungus. We know that you do not like Chungus, and we thought for sure that was going to be something that came back to bite. But a few of the other runners had some items missing that you had in your back pocket, so did not hurt as much as we thought.
Yeah. I figured people would probably end up getting bottlenecked because there's a VIP card in World of Evil.
Yeah.
And that's where you had NPCs locked. So what you end up doing is going to World of Evil, get that first chest that has a VIP card, and immediately dip it back out. Just do that. So
yeah, there were some things that you guys got early on that we thought, well, this could be a very friendly seed, and then as it goes on, as this game does, definitely turned a little bit trolly. What were some things that stood out to you during the run where you thought, you know what, I kind of like the way that I executed that, or the decision I made in that moment? And then on the flip side, what were some things that you thought, you know what, I probably could have done that a little differently?
No, did we lose him?
I don't know. We'll wait to see if he comes back, and then I'll re-ask the question.
I'm trying to find out right now if QB wants to come in for interviews. I
Sure.
do know that he is one of our EU runners, that English is not quite his first language. So
Sure. Looks like QB took a bit of a bio break. He just posted in the stream chat.
Well, I mean, 2.5 hours is kind of a long time to not get up and move.
That's true. That's true. And I know the nerves run really high in this game, so I've been in that situation before.
And there we have Highspirits back in the power plant, getting the boy that he missed out on.
And HS is about to finish this up. GG Spirits, you're gonna finish this really quick. I'm sure, knowing how I am in these situations, I'm sure Spirits is kind of kicking himself right now. Well, we lost LostC0re, irony of ironies, but we'll see if we can't get them back if they want to keep answering some questions, or if there was a bit of a connection issue on their end.
I do know that LostC0re works nights and had to wake up especially early or in the middle of his normal sleep schedule to come do this run, so it might just be that he's like, I'm done. I answered my question, I'm done.
Could be. Yeah, SpeedGaming, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, so this seed highlighted the St. L's seabed very, very much.
How many? So
has made almost everywhere except for left tower absolutely had required.
Yeah. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different items, 7 different required items of the 12 we need, hidden away at somewhere in St. L's seabed. That's insane. Not to mention whatever NPCs might have been locked there, which off the top of my head, I don't remember the NPCs that were unlocked, but 7 of the 12 hard required items were found in the Seabed Sanctuary. That I don't think I've ever seen that. Spirits coming in hot. Looks like that'll be around probably around a 237, finishing this seed up. So, really, any time in the 230s is a very solid time. Nothing to be ashamed of, for sure.
Okay, so QB got back to me. He does not want to come in for interviews.
That's all right.
So we will wait and see when Highspirits finishes if he
wants to answer some questions.
Yep, wants to come in.
Really nicely done by HS. Aside from missing the red hot ball and the boy in the power plant, I mean, really the seed was right there for him. But it's just one of those things. A couple of decisions, this way or that way, can definitely sway the seed, in or out of your favor. Yeah, basically things that he couldn't have known. We have the luxury of sitting here, in our ivory commentary tower, being able to see everything that everyone's getting, and we know where it is. But unfortunately for the runners, they don't know, and we're able to say, oh, you know what, they should have done that. But it's easy for us to say because we don't have to do it. GG to HS, 236 and a half. Nicely done on your finish.
GG, Highspirits.
Nice work. Nice work. There's LostC0re. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks. Thankfully, we did not wait to delay for too long when we started the race. I had a power flicker.
Oh, gosh. See? We waited until the end of the race. You got my curse from last year. That was that cost me about 25 minutes into last year's race. My power flickered, and by the time it came back, everyone else was already 40 minutes into the race. Unfortunate, but fortunate that you finished before that happened. Nicely done. Before we lost you, I was asking, what were some things, as you think back in this seed that in your execution you thought, you know what, I'm really happy with the way that I did that or that decision? And then on the flip side, what were some things that you think, you know what, I probably would have done that differently had I known what I know now?
I was happy about a lot of what I did. I noticed I was not hitting the scorpions, and I had Zante, so I'm like, right, I should probably clear these guys back out. and then I got I think it was soul armor from that. I was like, ooh, yeah, definitely you should clear these guys out.
Yeah, finding the soul armor was a really, really nice find right there early in the Fire Temple. HS, welcome in, Highspirits. Thank you for popping in, and GG on your 236. Definitely not a time to be disappointed with. Nicely done.
GG, everyone. Yeah, I took a risk and it failed.
Oh, it happens. It happens. That's the nature of the Soul Blazer randomizer. We have all been there.
I have to try to find ways to cut corners to keep up with the best. So
yeah,
the corner I cut though cost me big time.
It happens. It definitely happens. You were right there out in front, and had you not, or had you found that required item and the kid down in the power plant, it was right there. But this randomizer, I was just saying to LostC0re before and to the audience several times, it has a way of giving and a way of taking that feels worse than some other games.
Yeah, speaking of the power plant, I was really sweating when I had skipped Tyndall, and I had both of those 2 NPCs in the VIP tower I was missing.
We were talking about that when you skipped, because as far as I remember, you didn't open up the layer right there either. So if you needed to go back, it would have been a nice long walk. So glad to see that did not come back to bite.
Yeah, because I didn't have the super bracelet at that point, so the fight would have taken very, very long, and I didn't want to open the layer up either, because that's also pretty far out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, lucky that did not come back to bite, and very, very fortunate for you. HS, I was going to ask you the same question I asked LostC0re just a second ago. What were some things that some decisions you made in your execution for the seed that you thought, you know what, I'm very happy with how I did this. I wouldn't have done it differently. But then on the flip side, I can think of one off the top of my head, but what were some things that you think, I probably would have made a different decision?
Honestly, I was pretty much happy with everything except for that one decision. Like, I put off the pass checks until close to the end, until I knew I didn't need the hint code anymore, but that didn't end up biting me. Greenwood, I could have done a little bit earlier, but I don't think that really cost me anything, because I still had to go and clear some layers to get the last way to the king in the power plant. And I think it's just, deciding to not clear those 2 layers to open up the power plant is pretty much the only thing I think that I wasn't happy with. I thought my execution was good. Getting the recovery sword early meant we could just, be reckless everywhere because we were never going to take damage.
Early recovery sword we were mentioning is, it's essentially a get out of jail free card. You don't have much to worry about at that point.
Yeah, we joke that getting an early soul blade is great, but early, that gets you the quick levels in Greenwood if you get it really early. But the recovery sword, you can face tank everything.
Because it was,
I think it was, you heal 1 damage. You take 1 damage, you heal 1 damage.
Exactly. Because I think you guys, not only did you have that, but you had the recovery sword and a fairly high level armor. So it was, you were taking almost nothing and you were healing it right back. And then you guys got a medical herb, so if you ever did get in trouble, it was just immediately negated.
And early light arrow.
Yeah. Early light arrow is a huge addition, especially with some of these, these layers in Greenwood or in the Mountain of Souls with the magicians. They're nightmares.
Oh yeah, having a lot of early gems and arrows just means you can, again, just like with the sword, you could be reckless. You can throw those arrows everywhere and just pick off 1 enemy here, 1 enemy there.
Yeah.
I was so glad I didn't death warp in World 1 and kept the gems.
Yeah, that's the only thing that sucked is we got like 500 gems and I still took the death warp. So
you were the only one, LostC0re. You were the only one that did not take the death warp, and it was noticed in chat. It was noticed in chat. Yeah, and
there were 5 items, and the game tends to give you some magic early, so I took it.
Yeah. It was a good call. You had a slight advantage with the gems there. I think a few chests pretty quickly after that gave quite a hefty handful of gems, but still, you didn't have to hunt for them, and you had the magic to use. So definitely a good move on your part. That really could have gone either way. You guys got that early helpful magic, so it definitely was an advantage for you.
Yeah, magic definitely wasn't an issue with that seed, I think. Even, like, Death Warp at the beginning, it didn't really, like... I don't think there was a single time where I stopped, like, using Light Arrow just because I thought magic was going to run out.
Right.
I think I got below 100, like, once, and that was, like, wasn't for long.
Yeah, the gems were very generous in this seed, that's for sure.
And how did you guys like how important Act 3 was to the whole seed?
I was going to bring that up.
7 required items.
In the Discord about, like, no one likes to go there. Go to the Undersea, to go to St. Ellis, and it's like, every single zone had something important in it. And I'm like, that's the whole reason why I went to Blester as early as I did, because I'm like, okay, 3 out of 3 zones had something important. The 4th one has to, right?
Yeah. Besides the NPCs, and I don't recall exactly which NPC was locked behind which layer, but there were 7 required items in the Seabed Sanctuary alone. So that's something that I was saying before. I've never seen that. 1 or 2 maybe, but it's a crapshoot. But you're right. Today everything was required.
Usually I do Chungus along with the ghost ship area, but I did the ghost ship area so early I didn't have the access to it, and I didn't want to backtrack for it. And
I don't blame you.
Really, that's what really pulled me down.
And you opened a small thing that I had noticed was you opened the chests in a different order, so you saw the brown stone right away. The other, at least 2 of the other runners had opened up, herb empty chest, and I'm sure at that point are thinking, why did I even come here? And then open up the brown stone.
Yeah, we already found one of the other stones in the spot opposite the side of Chungus too.
Yeah,
that area
had a stone. No, it was Rockbird, I think, that had a stone in it.
Rockbird had a stone, Hype Cave had a stone, and the chest immediately to the right when you go into the ghost ship area. I think that first chest was the blue stone.
Yep, the stone was over there in Ghost Ship also, yeah.
So that's 8 required items out of the 12 that were in St. El's. Unbelievable. 3/4 of all your required items were in that one act alone.
And I pulled that blue stone, and I was like, hey, Chungus is definitely not having anything, right?
See, I had the complete opposite thing. I'm like, all 3 had something. The 4th has to have something.
Yeah. Unbelievable seed. Very, very cool to watch. It was giving at some points, and it was very dry at others. But I feel like every zone, every major zone, needed you to at least dip your toes into it to take a look.
Except for Light Temple, I think that was useless.
That's
Temple
was
going and doing.
Yeah, Light Temple was pretty useless, and left tower, I believe, had nothing.
Tower,
everything else was definitely you got to dip in and see what's there.
You want a consequence of me skipping that power plant layer was me doing left tower, because the only reason I did left tower is because I knew the last thing that soldier I needed for Storm Eagle was over there, and I'm like, I better unlock Storm Eagle while I'm over, before I go over to the right tower to get everything. So that right there cost me a few minutes, because I only chose to do left tower because I skipped power plant.
Yeah, unfortunate, but sometimes when you get those those hints, your mind starts racing and you think, well, I have to check it now.
Yeah, I got the Dr. Leo hint instead.
Yeah, I got the last soldier hint because I did Leo first and then the other soldier.
Well, we're seeing Edgy right now get into the world of evil. Edgy should finish up around I'd say a 252. So honestly, guys, like between a 223 and a 252, not too shabby. Really nice to see you guys running it. It's always fun to watch this game go at a high level. One of my personal favorites. Not many people can say that they had this game, in their childhood, but it's one of my personal favorites. And shout outs to everyone that's involved in the community for putting this randomizer together and the tournament together.
Very, very much. Congrats to everybody that's run or going to run today. Everybody that's in the community that helps out. LostC0re, of course, tomorrow we will see you again in the finals.
I was going to ask, when were those, by the way?
Tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Okay.
But yeah, GG and good luck, LostC0re. I'm at the limit that I can stay here, so thanks for the interview and thanks everyone for the tournament.
Appreciate your time. Yeah, thank you. Really nicely done, HS. Proud to see you get as far as you did in this run. Really nicely done.
Oh yeah, I just had put together a handful of randomizers for fun, and then eventually it's like, I'll join the Discord and do a few weeklies, and then bam, here I am.
It becomes an obsession after that.
But thanks again, everyone, and good luck, LostC0re, tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks. I
Thanks,
think I'll be
HS.
heading out as well. I need a nap.
Don't blame you. Don't blame you. All right, thank you guys both so much for popping in.
Wise men tell their tales at night, after all, not in the morning.
Very true. Very true. Thank you, LostC0re. And we're going to see Edgy finish this out, guys. Again, one more time, thank you all so much. We had all the shout-outs going into the chat right now for the runners, for commentary, for the Soulblazer randomizer, Discord, all of it. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to the participants. Thank you to everyone that put this together. And Amy, it's been a pleasure doing commentary with you.
It has been a pleasure, sir. Thank you for joining me on it.
Of course. Could not leave you high and dry.
Again, also everybody remember that the Monitor's Etsy store is doing a discount this weekend for the Soulblazer tournament. I did throw the link up there with the code that you need to use. It is SOULSALE this time around. Thank you, Link, for putting together the prize. We will show that again once Edgy is done. Just so that everybody can see it. And we'll get some confirmation on some other things before we close this one out. Again, our next race is in about an hour. So this is cutting kind of close at this point.
Speaking of cutting close, Edgy's HP is making me so nervous. They're doing the right strats. They're baiting out the lasers, but it still makes me so nervous. Oh man, come on, Edgy. All right, good. There we go. I was wondering if they were going to equip it or just try to power through. Nice, good decision. Good decision. Yeah, it's better to use it than to leave it in inventory.
Exactly.
It's like all the elixirs at the end of an RPG. You save them for what? Why are you saving all those potions? GG edgiestick. All of you runners,
Edgy.
thank you so
GG
much
runners.
again. Really nicely done, guys.
Okay, and Edgy's already put in that he kind of wants to come do some interview with us, so we'll give him just a minute. He's also got to do a little get up and stretch.
Don't blame him. Don't blame him at all. really nice showcase today. As Chitin put in the chat here, anything under 3 hours in this randomizer is a very strong time. Really nicely done. All three of our runners have showed just how well this game can be put together for a randomizer, because all of them took vastly different paths. And aside from a decision or two here and there, it was really up to any of these runners to be able to take this home today. So really, really cool to see that. Very nice showcase.
And there is our prize back up on the screen for everybody to see. Again, the monitor link. Thank you very much for creating it. His link is up there if you want to look at the rest of his stuff in his shop. Great, great merchandise.
Really cool prize for the grand prize winner. Really, really cool. Every year is always something real fancy, and I love this map layout. Very, very cool.
And so I did just get confirmation. Our closest second place runner will also be in the finals. Okay. So just because you get second doesn't mean that you're out just yet. We still got 2 more races to determine that last spot.
Yeah. That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be real interesting because it's only a couple of minutes that separate LostC0re and CUBE here. So we'll see how these other 2 sets of 4 work out. Queen Anne with the shout outs to all of our runners. Do follow our runners, guys. They produce great content. They're going to be running this game every now and then. So if you have questions about Soul Blazer Randomizer, if you want to watch it run and run well, definitely follow these runners. You will not be disappointed.
Okay, and we're just waiting on Edgy to get the invite to come do comms with us.
Definitely check out the Discord for the Soul Blazer Randomizer. Lots of great information. They post weekly seeds in there, and you can see how your times back up to the rest of these runners.
And you can also watch and see how much you improve yourself over each week, because it does keep a running track of your times. So if there was something that you found hard, you know, you can always come back and ask other members for help in making it easier on you. Or just, like I said, we've got people that are trying to work on even changing this randomizer up for those of us that are experienced. Just needing some additional help, maybe some bodies to try some things out.
Yeah, if anyone in chat is well seasoned in not this randomizer but any other ones and have some ideas based on what they've seen here today of some settings or some different sorts of things that could shake this up, definitely come on into that Discord community. Definitely give us your suggestions. Always open to something new. Edgy, welcome in. GG, well done on the 252, I believe it was. Anytime under 3 hours is always a good time. Nicely done.
Thank you.
So
hey, real quick, make sure you hit the done on racetime.gg so I can close out that room, please.
Oh, sorry.
So I'll ask you the same question I had asked our other interviewees. What were some decisions that you had made during this run where you look back and you think, I am really happy and proud with my execution in that point? And then on the flip side, what were some things where you look back and you think, you know, I probably could have done that better?
I think my routing was all right, except for there at the end. That was, I feel like that was probably the big thing I did that LostC0re got me on, was some of the routing at the end of it. I could have been a little more careful about face tanking everything. There was a few times there where I was like, oh no, I'm gonna die, it's gonna ruin this whole run.
You had me real nervous at the end when you were fighting Death Toll and your HP is getting low, and I thought, are they going to equip the herb, or are they just going to try to ride it out? I was real nervous right there.
Yeah, I came real close. I was like, oh no. I was like, I'm real glad I got lucky on that, because I wasn't paying enough attention while I was sitting up close to him.
So I'm familiar with some of these other runners. I'm not as familiar with. So tell us a little bit about your background with the Soul Blazer Randomizer and how long you've been running it.
About 2 years now.
Okay.
I was introduced to it from this tournament 2 years ago. I saw we're speedrunning Soul Blazer. I thought that's great. I love Soul Blazer. This was a game that my sister and I would rent from the video store back when people did that sort of thing.
I remember those days.
Yep, we would do it all the time, and it would probably maybe once a year, once every 2 years, we would rent it again and play through it. So it was one of our favorite SNES era games. And then I saw the randomizer for it, and I got it, and I would play it casually for a while. And then about 8 months ago, I started talking to the right people to find my way onto the Discord and and the webpage, and then actually start posting times. Like, well, I've actually got some competitive times. I might try to get into the tournament this year. So, and here we are.
Nice, very nicely done. Very nicely done. You got through the trolly old qualification seed, so that in and of itself is an accomplishment.
Right, no kidding.
I know that it left me high and dry, and I was very disappointed, but nicely done for getting into the top 12 here and for your finish time today.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts that you'd like to share on the game itself, the community, anything like that?
No, just everybody keep doing what you're doing. And people are posting some really good times. I mean, it's a lot of the top competitors now are down to like randomizer or random mistakes and things like routing and that sort of thing. And their skill at actually playing it and defeating monsters and getting through stages efficiently is all really, really good. And we're going to see some really good races, I think.
Definitely. Between execution and just being able to read the logic, it's impressive when you see someone that's well versed in the game just tear it apart.
Absolutely.
Or
Awesome.
when you see people that are well versed in it struggle to figure out where to go.
That's true, because we are all just humans after all.
It's true.
Well, Edgy, again, well done. GG. Thank you for popping in with us. I know we're going to start getting prepared for the next set of races, so always happy to see some runners of the Soul Blazer Randomizer, and we'll get it again next year.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that's end of race group number 1. Come back at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is in about 48 minutes, and you'll see race group number 2 for everyone here at this. And Amy, you'll be back on commentary for that, won't you?
Yes, I've gotten slotted for commentary for the second race. Unfortunately, Queen Anne's not feeling the greatest, so we will see what happens. But that next group is going to include the Axeman, who's been here in chat answering tons of questions, Paldum, Chitin, and Cook, who's all of them have been in chat so far this first race, so it should be an exciting second race. Group B, we are in for a treat. Again, thank you to all the racers, all the commentary, SpeedGaming, and of course our prize creator, the Monitor.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well done. Looking forward to the last 2 races.
Can't wait to see everybody back in about 45 minutes.